Chance to soar. No reason why. Hey! Good to see ya. Good to see ya. Glizzy, glizzy, glizzy. Oh no! I'm gonna die. Oh no! I'm choking on a carrot. Oh God. Oh. Guten Tag, guten Tag. I'm actually gonna die. Wait a minute, I'm choking. Oh. Oh, hello. Sorry. Hello. No, wait, that's the wrong one. Hello, and welcome. Hello, and welcome to the Atrioc broadcast, February 27th, 2025. Good to see you. Let me get some water. Let me get some fucking water. Let me get some water in a second. Damn, I ate a whole baby carrot. And it went down my windpipe. Fuck! It must be the fucking Germans. ET6329! Thank you for the 50 months. Thank you for the 50 months of a subscriber. I appreciate that. Yeti, thank you for the 58. Holy shit, I need water. Wait 1 second. Let me get a water. Play the intro.
That I'm not. I will get there. Just give one more shot. Strike while the iron is hot. And I'll forge my way to the top. Get out of my way. I got nothing to lose. I'll chase my dreams to the sun or end up blowing up fuse. A candle with two flames, wings burst the light. For a limited time, I will shine.
Okay. I'm not doing coke. I'm not doing ket. Okay? You guys realize that if someone were to do coke and ket as much as you claim that I do it, I would be fucking dead. Every single time I leave stream, I'm doing a fucking line of coke. I guess Elon disproves my theory. He's still ticking. He's still cooking. Did you see New Jot 2 is being shown at AMC theaters? It's also being shown at ATRIOC theaters. Because we're going to play the whole fucking movie on stream. Get fucked, China. We are pirating. Well, turn the tables, huh? Instead of China pirating Hollywood movies, now a guy in LA pirates Chinese movies. We are turning the tables. It may be the Chinese century, but they're going to get a taste of their own medicine. Dan Clancy. Oh, dude, I have a Dan Clancy song sung by a human that is brewing, much like some sort of coffee bovine. I have a Dan Clancy song that is going to be a banger, I think. A true heater, a true anthem. Did you see the best tweets that I sent you? I promised you I didn't. Maybe bump me, because I am looking for best tweets. If you think you got a banger set, I actually would like to use them. Is it Discord or Twitter you're sending me on? Because Atrioc, answer this. What's this? Has unbelievable physics.
Even more playful and fun. That is, rather than striving for absolute fidelity, though the game is gorgeous.
Is this going to be me saying that I'll play Astrobot by the end of X time? Because
it has instead prioritized interactivity, physics, and fluid simulation. Even finding ways to directly implement them into the game.
Oh no! Don't say it.
Right? So the very first
level
level immediately hints at what's to come. Jump into the first.
Don't say it. Don't say it, Atrioc.
As the leaves realistically move around the surface of the water.
Damn, I'm clean shaven.
Ripple with every.
Look at that fucking baby face.
Things
that
like
was a month ago. What is this? Really fun. I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna play it. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. I'm gonna play it. Lock it in. Put it on the fucking docket. I'm gonna play it. It looks fucking great. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. It might even be game of the year. I'm going to be brave. No one okay, else wait.
This.
Don't say a date. Just don't say a time.
Say it's game of the year.
Don't say a timetable. Chad, he's never going to play it. Raz, shut the fuck up. I didn't say a timetable. You got nothing on me. If the glove don't fit, you must acquit. I don't say a timetable, bro. I'm free. Yeah, of course I'll play it. Of course I'll play it. I'm good to my word. Of course I'll play it. But I've learned my lesson. God, I learned my lesson. I'm so brilliant. Thank you, past Atrioc, for not condemning me. Rusty Buckets, basketball YouTuber, put a clip of you reacting to the Luka trade in his long form video. That's fucking hype. I'm something of an NBA tuber now. Yeah, no big deal. Kind of an NBA guy. I did go to the Luka Lakers Mavs game and had the time of my fucking life. I had such a blast, dude. I had such a fucking blast. I got big drunk. Kyrie did go crazy. Kyrie's the most fun player to watch probably in all of basketball maybe, but he did lose. Yeah, it was a blast. I went with Stanzi and Pay and some friends, and it was great. It was so fun. It was such a hoot. I was popping off for every basket, and we had good seats. I'll be honest with you. It is the first. No, it's not the first, but it is the most fun I've ever had at a sports event in my life. That was the most fun I've ever had. I finally see why my dad loves it so much. I had such a good time, bro. Yeah, we were chanting, "Thank you, Nico," for trading Luka. Every time Luka would make something, it was awesome. The only problem was that Luka was so fat, it was like hard to see the other players. Luka was clearly 500 pounds, and that's why they traded him. And it was like impossible to even see. He was like causing earthquakes. Body shaming? Unfortunately, it was sitting next to me was Nico Harrison. He was body shaming. And I just guess picked up the bad habit. Did you watch the clip of Luka doing push-ups? Yeah, it's so funny. I mean, just a refresher, the Mavs traded their generational player Luka to the Lakers. I believe for nefarious reasons, but we don't know. But, they say the rumor is that's because he's out of shape, that he didn't have discipline. And then there's this we saw it live, but Luka's out there doing push-ups in front of his old GM. Just looking shredded, by the way. Looking good. And then when he gets the fucking this incredible three, he looks at the Mavs bench and goes like, "Oh, it was sick, dude. It was so fun to watch." And it was a close game, and Kyrie played amazing, so it was still close. I thought it was a blast. Hey, you see the behind the back no look pass? I did. That was fucking fire. Connell Johnel, thank you for the 25 months. Just gave birth to our sub baby. Wide Peepo happy. No, you've been sub for 25 months, so that doesn't even make sense for a baby. If it was a 9-month sub, I would at least get your joke. If it's 25 months, that baby is, I'm sorry, born late. That is a late pregnancy. If you are, fucking 16 months late. That's a tough one. Year of kindness. Well, I'll try today. Hey, Atrioc, do you want to come over to my house and play Halo? My mom said I get an extra hour of video games because I got good grades. You're joking, but there are Zoomers, there's Gen Alpha who will never know this treat. They will never know the sheer joy of LAN, multiplayer, Halo, GoldenEye, sleepovers. You know what I'm saying? They both stay at home and they just play Fortnite. There is something beautiful about it. There's something that a LAN party still exists. But it was special. It was special because you couldn't get that kind of, lagless gameplay anywhere else. LAN Halo after school was fucking dope. No screen peeking though. That is true. I did fucking hate screen peekers. You know what? You're actually making a good point. I was definitely a screen peeker rager as a child. Which is kind of dumb, but I'm like, eyes on your own screen. I would literally hide in a corner sometimes and stare at the wall so they wouldn't know where I was until I would hear someone coming. We had some bad peakers, dude. We had some bad peakers. No, I didn't peak. Threw a huge LAN party in 2018 and I miss it so much. Yeah, my friends and I, my Arizona friends, not my woke mind virus Libfornia California streamer friends, but my Arizona friends have a LAN party every year. One big LAN party every year. And I fly out for it, and it's so fun. And we're all older now. Dude, like some of them are married. Nobody has kids yet, but everyone's like older. And each year, I think we stay up a little bit later and eat a little bit less shitty food. Like we've been doing this for 10 years, probably since we all left college or whatever. And we'd fly back. We still got it. Stay up till fucking 7 a.m., play League and shit all night. Now we show up. It's fucking lights out at midnight. I'm ordering a salad. I'm Uber Eatsing a salad. It's it's not quite the same. It's not quite, but it is fun. It's a good friendship. It's a good friendship. I just finished reading .con before I tuned in. My one takeaway from the whole story is that I should have been born in 1975. Good book. Love that book. I'm glad you liked it. It's very interesting, right? And it's pretty easy to read. It's just fun scams from the late 90s. Yeah, you should have been born earlier, bro. Anyone who didn't choose to be born as a white man in the 1970s made a big mistake in America. You know, you made a huge fucking mistake. You could have got an easy ride. You could have had like the wind at your back for almost every job or investment decision you make for 30 to 40 years. So big fucking mistake on your part. Oh, let me put up a timer. I am doing a German nuclear crash out today, but it's not an actual crash out. I think you'll find it rather interesting. So let me put a fucking timer up so I don't forget to do it. And it will be cosmetic. Nuclear debate. It's not a crash out. It's not a crash out. But I think it'll be fine. Anyway, how was the Lakers game? As I said, the Lakers game was one of the most fun sporting experiences I've ever had in my entire life. It was, I feel like I'm a true fan. I feel like I'm a true fucking, every single bucket I popped off. Every single bucket. We had good seats. I was like, I was 4 rows back from Luka, dude. I watched Luka and Kyrie hug. It was heat, dude. It was actually so fucking much fun. And then like halfway through the game, Luka like waved to me and said, "You were right in your YouTube video." And then he jumped into the stands and high-fived me in midair. And then he's like, "Hey, pass me the ball." And I'm like, "I'll do you one better." And then I made a half-court shot from the stands. More than half-court, really. Just laced it. And then Luka, like, goes up to Rob Pelinka, the GM of the Lakers, and he's like, "Dude, you got to sign him. You have to sign him." And Rob's like, "Oh, I don't know." But, like, I think there's a spark there. There's, like, a chance. So, anyway, that all happened. It was Chunginama. Someone fire the cameraman for missing that? Yeah, seriously crazy. They fucking... Yawn, bandwagon Lakers fan. Problem is, here's the problem. Here's the fucking truth of it. I moved to LA and put down roots. So I am now legally authenticated. I have to do that. I'm going to have kids here, dude. I now have a choice. Lakers or Clippers. Obviously, I'm going to pick the team that just signed Luka Doncic. Also, I'm still younger than LeBron. You ain't having fucking kids. Let me be real, dog. Then you muted? You said, "You ain't having fucking kids. Let me be real." And then you muted my reply. That is fire. I don't know how I can. Yeah, well, I guess we'll find out. I guess we will find out the answer to that question. Damn, how much you down in the market right now? What an incredible question. I'm so glad you asked that question. Let's pull up the DougDoug.com stock chart and see how everyone is doing. Boom! Oh, wait, I'm over here. Boom! For the first time in this competition, every other player is negative except for me. We have now collectively, among 5 grown adults that each put in 10 grand, raised $1.50 for charity. We have raised 1 Costco hot dog for charity. There will be 1 child. We're going to buy him a Costco hot dog. and he will not go hungry that day. This is big. This is fucking big. People saying Nancy Diff. Obviously, Tempest AI is my leader. But if you were to cut out Tempest AI, I would still be up $400, which would again be more than everyone else combined and the only positive one. Now we'll see where this goes. The market is trending quite poorly. I wonder who had a video called Slowly Then All at Once. The market's trending quite poorly in this early shaky days of the Trump administration. But the real story around the market revolves around this stock, Nvidia, which reported earnings yesterday. Now, going into the earnings for the big N, people were saying, you know, everything rides on this. They need to report blockbuster earnings to keep the market going. You know, the AI story is the only thing keeping us afloat right now. Nvidia needs to do well. And then they fucking did. Nvidia did report blockbuster earnings, but it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. It still went down. That is how overstretched it's gotten. Nvidia beat on top and bottom line. That means like revenue and profit, and still dropped 9%, fell under 3 trillion. That is how everything else dropped too, by the way. The market is panicky now. People are, you don't just need good news nowadays, you need fucking incredible news. People are scared. It all feels shaky. It's all had such a fucking run up. Okay? By the way, this 120 number is pretty auspicious to me because that is when I sold Nvidia stock a year ago in June, right before the split. I sold at 120. So now 1 year later, basically, we're at exactly the same price. And I got so much shit. I got so many fucking DMs and comments. You're a fucking idiot. You're so stupid, bro. What are you? No, you don't know. Nobody knows. But I reduced my risk, and it looks like I didn't even miss out on much. Missed out on 15 cents. Didn't it split? They readjust these prices for the split, right? So this price was 10x higher on this chart, but they readjust the whole thing. So it's the same, 120, 120. Hey, Shrek, I want to thank you and your editor for putting me in a Big A video 3 days ago. This is the second Big A video I was in, and I wasn't called stupid this time. Hey, progress. Hey, you're trending in the right direction. All right? Hey, thanks for the gifties. Holy shit, Warbone 3K. They give the 25 gifties. My God. Would you be interested in interviewing a blue-collar job? Bro, you got a blue-collar job and you're dropping 25 gifties? Are you a plumber? Are you like one of those rich blue-collar jobs? You a mechanic, plumber? Plumbers make bank, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, no, seriously. There's a lot of blue-collar jobs that actually low-key make huge bank. Welder, yeah. It's people, the hard technical ones. HVAC, yeah, for sure, 100%. Anyway, you're a welder. You are a welder. You said that. Okay. Yeah, I would love to interview about being a welder. That sounds interesting. Yes, I would love to. I just not going to do it today. Today's a nuclear crash out. Today's a bunch of things. So, but yeah, Warbone 3K. Send me a Discord message or send me a tweet. I'll plan job interviews for next week, for the first week of March. We have to do that video anyway. We'll do job interviews. It'll be fun. 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 Did you see the new AI bookmark? It's going to change the world. This is a $129 AI bookmark that helps book readers remember everything. Yeah. Okay. I don't know. I don't know. It feels dumb, but like I could also see maybe it being okay. I think it seems really fucking stupid for a fiction book. But if you were reading a book to study for nonfiction and you could like have it scan the page and then help explain it to you, you could ask it questions. It's actually not crazy. $129 seems like an insane price point, but what I will say is like, even if this is like super useful, which I don't think it is, but even if it was, the second it gets any real traction, Apple's gonna fucking put it in an app. You know? Like well, you'll not need this. No one's gonna fucking, oh shit. Did I just get 100 fucking gifties? That guy ain't German. You French? Hey, a Frenchman. Where are you from? Hey, they give me 100 fucking gifties. Ragnarok. My God. You have one message. You have one message in my chat ever, and it's from a month ago, and you said 6-cost wife. What the fuck does that mean? 6-cost wife. I assume that's about TFT and how the best units are 6-cost. So I probably was playing TFT and Ari gave me some food and you said she's a 6-cost wife as a compliment. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. We got there. It's a little nerdy, but we got there. Hey, Big A, I had a similar upbringing to yours. My dad was military. I lived in Germany and moved around a bunch. I was wondering how you dealt with being pulled away from friends frequently growing up. And do you think it's affected how you approach relationships/friendships as an adult? Yeah, I mean, it's pretty tough moving every 2 years, especially sometimes to different countries. And especially because I'm fucking old, some of this was pre-social media. So you would move and you would just not have the friend anymore. You would move and then you would never talk to them again. You'd have friends, your best friends, you'd move, that's it. It's over. And I, at the time, hated it. I was a very angsty kid. I would be like mad at my dad and mad at the world when we would move because I would feel like you're ruining my life. But looking back, I think it was really cool to have lived in all these places. And I think it gave me a broader experience. And one thing I say all the time is that I truly believe that humans are basically the same everywhere. And that comes from not just living in a lot of places growing up, but living in Korea for a year, study abroad, living in Japan. Like I lived in a lot of places and I think, you know, there's different little cultural traits, but most people want the same things, bro. They respond to the same stimuli. They're mostly the same. So I learned that and I thought that was pretty cool. And I feel like I internalized that deep in my bones. How I would approach friendships is that I really want strong ones. So for example, when Aiden came on the stream and talked about wanting to leave LA, I told him why I fucking love LA is because I want roots somewhere. I like having a place that I'm a usual at. I like having friends that I can go to that live nearby. I like cheering for the local team. I like having roots because I didn't have them growing up. So yeah, that's how it breaks out. I don't think it's good or bad, bro. I think it's just different. And you'll get some good things from it and some bad things from it. The bad things from it are like, you know, I have this like, I don't know, class clown, people pleaser mentality sometimes because I use that as a defense mechanism to make new friends when I was the new kid. I would always like go to a new school and like I have to fucking make some friends or I'm gonna. So people would be like, "Oh, I love WWE wrestling," and I'd be like, "Oh, me too." I don't fuck with that. I don't watch it, but I would be like, "Yeah, oh, me too. Yeah, I love that shit," because I wanted to make friends. I would do that all the time. What if you hate people? Sinago, thank you for the fucking 20 gifted. What is with all the gifted today? I appreciate it. Thank you very much. I will use it to build a wall between me and Germany. I will build a wall and I will make the subs pay for it. I'll expand the Atlantic. I'll call it the Maginot Line. Oh no, they went around. On the topic of Germany, thank you for the gift. He's the great Forrest Dirtman. Talk about Germany. I had a few job offers there, Germany's top EU employer in my industry, all of which were canceled after the election. Businesses seem like they're getting scared and de-risking. They are. They are. 100%. And it's happening not just in Europe, but here in America. Businesses are spooked. That is why layoffs are rising, and that is why hiring, more importantly. Businesses are always loath to lay off. They don't have to hire you back, but they have shut down hiring. Just ask anyone in this chat searching for a job right now how fucking hard it is. It's so hard right now, especially if you're trying to find like something you consider quote unquote good, like a career rather than. It's fucking hard. It's not easy. There's ghost jobs. It's fucking hard. And it's not like they're, it's some of people, I just hear people be like, oh, fuck my chungus life. Like they're acting like they did something wrong. And it's like, no, you didn't do anything wrong. It's just a bad time. You didn't, if you were the same resume, same level of grades or whatever, it would be way easier 10 years ago. Yeah, or 1970, bro. You could just fucking walk off the, just walk up to the job. And just get hired day of. Buddy of mine just reached his 250th job application. Wild times. That is fucking wild. Anyway, so let's talk about Nvidia. Nvidia, again, beat earnings. They had more revenue than expected, more profit than expected, and yet the stock dumped 9%, 15% in the past 5 days, which again, how big is that, right? Well, when you're as big as Nvidia, 15%, that's like 3 McDonald's. Not the stores, the company. It's like the company McDonald's disappeared 3 times. It's like it's such a vast amount of money disappearing overnight for beating your earnings. Imagine, I want you to imagine what would happen. I mean, look how red the stock market was today. Look how fucking bad everyone's doing. Imagine what would have happened if Nvidia had reported shrinking earnings. Imagine if they were like, we were actually down slightly. It would have been a fucking bloodbath. It would have been, we have to pray they keep doing well, dude. To be fair, it was more about forward guidance. It was partially about forward guidance. The real thing, if you look into it, is that their margins are declining. It's a bad sign. The real, like the dark spot on NVIDIA's announcement was not the amount of money they made. It's that their margin between how much it costs to make and how much they sell it for is shrinking, indicating there's more competition, there's slightly less demand, so they have to cut their price a little bit on certain things for big industrial clients. And so people are afraid the growth might slow. It'll go back up. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. But I will say this. So let's go back 6 months. There was the big dip right here from DeepSeek. Remember that? And right here, every single fucking retail investor bought the dip. Everyone. It was like the big story was that all retail investors were like, I'm genius. I'm going to buy the dip. NVIDIA always goes up. And then it went up a little bit. And then it went back down. It's trading flat. The hedge funds did not buy here. So we don't know. It could still, of course, we don't know. But I mean, they just reported incredible earnings and it shrunk. Now we'll see. The market digests news slowly, and maybe tomorrow it goes up a little. We'll see, you know. But the pattern of always buy the dip, it always works, is a very retail mindset. Okay, you have to understand that, like, it's not a guaranteed strategy. You're still high risk. You're still buying at the end, or what's possibly the end of a truly generational run, right? You're still buying like here. And you're predicting this happens again, right? You're like, oh, I want big growth. I want this again. I want Nvidia to go a $30 trillion company. Is that possible? It's not impossible, but it's a little crazy. Did you see what Dario Amode wrote about DeepSeek R1 NVIDIA chip demand? I did. I talked about it with Doug. I think it's fascinating. I also watched the Dwarkesh Patel podcast with Satya Nadella, CEO of Microsoft. Listened to the whole damn thing. And I found him to be a smart guy. But again, there's stuff that gives me pause. You know, there's some lines in there where Microsoft CEO is like, yeah, we're going to close some data centers. Where it's like, okay, are they possibly pulling back on this insane spend? And if so, that'll fuck up everything. So it's just, it's interesting is all I'm telling you. It's an interesting time. I don't know. Because again, I also see big breakthroughs happening in AI all the time. Like they are making progress. There are cool new things, especially in like healthcare with diagnosi. The ability of like ingest a bunch of medical research and then like come up with new like protein folds or things like that. Like there's cool projects being done, but I still think the market has overvalued the hype around AI too soon. I can't believe my Trump coin is down. No asset is safe in this economy. Remind me, we should watch the new Coffeezilla, Voidzilla video. He talks about this. It is so funny that crypto people thought Trump would be their savior. And in fact, he kicked off a wave of meme coins that has driven every retail investor out of crypto. They all got scammed so hard they are running for the hills. And crypto is fucking tanking. It's like a mass exodus out of crypto. Bitcoin's at 80K, 20K drop off. The meme coins are fucking shattering. And it's because every single retail investor got rug pulled by fucking Trump coin, Enron coin, Libra. Fucking Hawk Tua. They're actually waking up to the fact that it's always a scam and they can't win if you're not an insider. So you're saying Trump saved us from crypto? Unintentionally, but yes. I may look back and say that Trump coin was a brilliant gambit that killed crypto. I may give credit. Why am I getting so many gifties today? Got me nervous. Thank you very much for the gifties. Beef jerky rules. I agree. Beef jerky does rule. Do you have a message? You don't have a message. You just dropped the gifties. Thank you so much. Oh, wait, you did say, you said, me with my 5 Nvidia shares listening to the earnings call. That's base, dude. Listening to earnings calls is one of the most boring but high reward things you can do. If you ever have nothing to do, you're truly fucking bored, sit down and listen to like the UPS earnings call. Just listen to it. Just try to fucking internalize what they're saying. You'll get a better idea about the health of the company and the economy than you would from any kind of fucking one headline summary. But also don't. It's boring. If you don't care, don't do it. It's actually not. It really is boring. I have to play TFT when I'm listening. Freezy, thank you for the gifties. How do you listen to earnings calls? They're public. Well, public companies are public. You can just listen to them online or dial in. I'm so natty. Thank you for the prime. Freezy, thank you for the 5 gifties. I much appreciate it. Do you have a message? Your message was, can't wait to see this on YouTube tomorrow. It will be on YouTube. I don't know about tomorrow. We'll make a clip of this, the nuclear stuff, because I want to get my thoughts out there. My THOTs. You have gotten $1,200 today. That is not correct. That is not correct. I don't think that is correct. Maybe you're right. I don't think that's correct. I think that math is incorrect. I think it's half of that, but maybe you're right. Have you heard the news about Huawei's new GPUs sort of competing? Yeah, I have heard the news. I've heard the news. I've heard tell that every time we say that China can never, ever do X, they're 10 years behind, they'll never get there. I always think, I don't know. And then there's always a follow-up where it's like, okay, well, they're 3 years behind. It's like, by the way, there's some underhanded methods that are used to catch up this quickly. But if you're talking about the reality of it, whether or not they'll get there, I always think the 10-year number is fucking stupid. It never pans out that way. Did you see the new podcast Gavin Newsom is starting? Yeah, I think it's really funny that the DNC and Democrats in general have heard, hey, one of the reasons you lost the election is because of the podcast networks. You don't have a podcast voice. And instead of like, I don't know, finding a good entertainer that is doing that and then going on their show to help build it up, Gavin Newsom's like, I'll just make my own. I just don't think people are going to watch Gavin Newsom's fucking podcast. Gavin with Gavin. I don't think it's going to work that well. I think he's trying to. I don't think it's going to be like the top of the podcast charts is Joe Rogan and Gavin Newsom. I think it's a little bit silly, but it's also like he's trying something, and I'll give him credit for that. The DNC needs to try new things. Their old strategy has worked not at all. Complete failure. They need to fucking try something else, especially in terms of like getting their message across, having a coherent voice, standing for something instead of standing against something, like having a future you can imagine and tell people about, rather than just being like, this one sucks and we'll go back. Like you have to inspire people, not just. And I think they should do that. I think that would work well. I think I talked about the Spectre. Talked with the Spectre about this last night. I know a lot of people are doomer about. Like, as I've said over and over, I'm very clear on this. I had low expectations and I've been disappointed with this Elon Trump partnership so far. It's been absolutely chaotic. It hasn't even been good on its own goals. It's been a true disaster, I think. I mean, I saw. I was reading Semaphore this morning. American business leaders are turning on Trump fast. And they're like interviewing CEOs who are just saying how everyone's paralyzed. I can't be positive. It's chaos. People can't figure it out. Even these people can't fucking. So understand that, right? People are like, oh, well, it's fucking over. It's all doomed. They're going to have a dictatorship. I think what's realistically going to happen is that they're going to get fucking clobbered in the midterms. Especially if the DNC can put together an actual platform, an actual good messaging strategy, good candidates. I think they'll fucking sweep the midterms. We're going to be deeper into a recession. I think that will be extremely likely, assuming that they can get their act together. Either that or I'll start a party. Don't worry about it. I'll start a party. It'll be called the New American Party, NAP. Everyone gets, I'll bring back fiestas from, everyone gets a nap in the middle of the day. It's for those who are eepy. I would unironically vote for that. Yeah. Will be about common sense and everyone getting a nap. Sorry to divert to more serious topics, but what do you think about the Shrek redesign? I was avoiding this because it's too serious. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather talk about abortion rights or something. But if you want to talk about Shrek redesign, I have to give a trigger warning. What did they do to him? Is this it? Yeah, okay. This is the Shrek redesign. Watch the trailer? Okay. All right. Shrek trailer. Dude, the fucking... Look at the fucking top YouTube videos. What the hell is Shrek 5 doing? Shrek's new design is ... Shrek 5 teaser trailer reveals first look at it. Okay, is this it?
Hey, Magic Mirror, who's the fairest of them all?
Why, Shrek, of course.
Ah!
Ew, Dad.
Ooh, Mommy like.
Who's making this stuff?
Not me.
Whoa! Shrek 5, starring Mike Myers, Eddie Murphy, Cameron Diaz, and Zendaya? Oh, damn. Only in theaters, Christmas 2026.
Who's the fairest of them all?
Why, Shrek, of course.
What I don't like is, I feel like you could watch Shrek 2 today and it's timeless. This feels very dated already. It feels like already a little dated today. And then 5 years is going to seem terrible. But we'll see. I'll give him time. I got to see them. Because that could be a promo, right? And I'll be honest with you. I think it's kind of ugly, but I don't. This is not like the end of the world for me is the look. I do think he looks better the old way. But also I'm an old head, you know? If the movie has heart and it's funny, then it'll be fine. I'm worried off that trailer. Or just don't make it. Can I also say that? Or just don't make it. We don't need a fucking sequel to everything. Okay? That's also fucking true. Shrek 2. Oh, my nose. I gotta blow my nose. Okie dokie. Tariffs. Oh, by the way, tariffs are back on the fucking menu. March 4th. Trump says Canada. Dude, I thought, what happened to, we got the Fent Czar. It's over. The tariffs are coming into effect. Dude, I promise you. Listen, I know many people don't give a shit about the stock market, and I think that's fine. The stock market and the real economy are not the same thing. There's a big divergence. But this is going to have massive effects on inflation. It's going to make things cost more, but also it's going to tank the stock market, which will in turn affect the economy. Because all of the spending in the economy right now is being done by the people on the top of the K-shape who think they're rich because all their assets are way up. There's people in America, the top 10%, who have done very well because the stock market is fucking at moons and real estate prices are way up. As those crash, and they should eventually crash to get things to more people, the people are going to stop spending and the whole economy, we're going to be in a real fucking bad cycle. I don't know how else to say it. They included an initial 10% for China. Yeah. Yeah, he's pretty much adding 10% a month on China. Again, the China one is a little different. I can see the merits of it. But the Canada one, I cannot. Mexico and Canada ones, I can't see the merits of it all. Useless. I will say one thing. So I've talked about this. I still believe that Pierre Poilievre is going to win in Canada. However, I do want to fully admit the betting odds are are shifting. I still believe, I'll still take the bet that Polyev will win, but does anyone have that? There's a great chart. I don't think I have it on me. Does anyone have it? There's a great chart of the attitudes converging because the Trudeau's party, the Liberal Party, is gaining a lot of Canadians are becoming more patriotic, and Polyev's conservative platform was "Canada is broken." That was his slogan. He just changed it because it's bad now. But his platform was "Canada is broken," and now everyone's getting like real patriotic and like "fuck Trump." We need to like unite, and so all of a sudden, like that guy being kind of previously pro-Trump and like aligned with him is like losing luster. Still think he's gonna win. These last-minute surges don't tend to pan out the way people think, but yeah, patriotism is a left thing in Canada right now. And it's, people are uniting against the common enemy of Trump, who keeps calling it the 51st state and saying he wants to take it over, which is not popular, obviously, among Canadians. Can I get a fucking... Dude, somebody has to have this chart. I really want to show it to you because I think it's fascinating. Is this the chart? No, that's not the chart I'm looking for. Maybe it's this chart. This chart, that's the one. All right, look. So red is the Liberal Party. They have reverse colors too, by the way. Americans... Once we make this 51st state, we're going to change things. They have reverse colors. You can see how they were like just generationally fucked. And then Trudeau resigned and Trump started calling it the 51st state. And all of a sudden it was like, hey, we're fucking Canadians, man. And this party's been saying Canada's broken, you know, and kind of aligning itself with Trump. And so it's closing in. However, I'm just letting you know. If I'm wrong, I'll fully admit it. But I think it's still going to play out with the Conservative Party winning. NDP is nosediving. Bum 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 ba-dum ba-dum bum. Do you think Trump could end up being the modern day Herbert Hoover? Not only do I think that, I said that. I said that before, well, when he was elected. I have a video where I said that. Yeah, I think that's exactly what he'll be, bro. Big A, why do you wear an Enron hat? It's because I deeply support everything Enron has ever done. I wear this Enron hat with pride because I support the company Enron and everything they did, including their executives. That's why I wear it. I don't fuck with irony around here. I think irony is for weasels. Okay? I think be direct. And what I'm being direct about is that I fucking love Enron, okay? Strong business ethics. Okay, I think we're getting close. Give me a minute. Is there anything else I want to talk about? I'm trying to make sure Adish got a clip. Dude, it's so funny. So Adish made a clip of me talking over the timer. And everyone was like, wow, he must really cut a lot because you can see how the timer, if you watch the timer, you can see how much it changes. But I watched the clip. He didn't edit that much. It's just I kept changing the timer. Like they thought he was putting a clip from here and then going back in time and putting a clip from here. And it's like, no, bro, he wasn't. He was just sequential. I just kept fucking... You gotta let me yap, bro. Let a yap meister yap. Can you please? A marketing Monday is never early, nor is it late. It begins precisely when it meant to. You're my hero. Yes, exactly. Yes, Gandalf. Squeaks is the god of game yapping. Here's what I'll say. I'm pretty bad at game yapping because when there's a game on screen, my brain goes play game, focus on game. I'm bad at game yapping. However, the recent rise, by the way, Who Dat, thank you for the raid. Who Dat salutes. Fucking Big ups to who dat. With the recent rise of Trick Shot Simulator, proves to me that people just want yapping plus a game they don't care about. It's like, if I'm yapping full camera, everyone's like, oh my God, play a game. But if I played a game that didn't fucking matter and just had the exact same things, people would be like, oh yeah, this is great gaming content. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? It's the same thing. It's just yapping, but there's a thing on screen that you're not even paying attention to. It's Subway Surfers. What is this? What is this? I was paying attention. What's this?
I've lost it. Okay. That's good.
My fucking goat! That's my fucking goat! Okay, he's a gamer, though. He's a gamer. This is why we watch. Holy shit, that's my goat, dude. I also saw, speaking of melee goats, I saw Zane, who's been on a challenge to get Grandmaster rating with every single character in the melee cast. He did it with Ness, a terrible character, in 1 day. Made that shit look easy. He's actually unreal fucking good at the video game. He's crazy. And his viewers are doing great. He found a way to make melee streaming fun, which is nearly impossible and nobody does it. He found a way to make it interesting and he's been crushing. Huge ups to Zane. Fucking awesome. His Ness's name was P. Ness. It was P. Ness, sorry. Give me 3 minutes and then I'll go. 3 minutes and then I'll go. 3 minutes and I'll go. And then I'm ready to start. Oh, what else do I need to say? What else do I need to say? Anything else we want to talk about? I mean, there's actually so much. I want to watch the Coffeezilla video. We'll do it afterwards. I want to talk about tariffs way more, but I mean, you get the idea. You know my stance on tariffs, right? They're based. Do them all the time. Tariffs are fucking awesome. Trump is brilliant. That's what I always say, and that's what I. The Trump AI vid was horrendous, but I'm trying to choose my battles here. Andrew Tate. Bro, I saw fucking Ben Shapiro criticizing this. That's how bad it's gotten, dude. They're fucking letting Andrew Tate into America get out of his fucking sex trafficking imprisonment in fucking Europe. DeSantis was pissed about it, and fucking Ben Shapiro was pissed about it. It's crazy. How the fuck? Facing rape and trafficking charges in Romania is back in the U.S. I don't get how like a politician can be behind Andrew Tate, can be like, yeah, this is a good idea. It's fucking crazy. Did he pay the $5 million? Oh, that's what I want to talk about, dude. We have a minute. I want to talk about that just real quick. I'll just talk about this and I'll end the timer, all right? So Trump is announcing these gold cards. It's like almost like a fucking battle pass or something. There's a $5 million gold card to wealthy foreigners. You can basically buy a green card, buy U.S. citizenship, or green card, not citizenship, but green card privileges for $5 million. And be on the route to citizenship if you're super rich. And, it's fine, I guess. I mean, this is not like something I'll take a large stance on, but what I will take a stance on is him saying this is going to be used to pay down the debt. He's like, if we sell 10 million of these bad boys, we're going to pay down our 7 trillion in debt and like, there's not that many people with 5 million in the world. let alone the ones who have it who want to buy a green card and then pay U.S. taxes on their income. They're going to sell so few of these. The only people that'll buy it are like, you know, traffickers and oligarchs and people that like can get such an advantage from having U.S. citizenship that they'll pay the $5 million. It's not going to be like a common high net worth thing to buy. And remember, there's not that many people with this high net worth in the entire world. Many of them are Chinese. 45% of them are already American. The next 25% are like Chinese. They're just not going to do it, bro. So it's again, I just think we've been so unserious about the debt, and just to hammer that home, because again, I made this argument that like I am putting together a fellowship, let's say, a fellowship of the ring, and I'm trying to get the ring to Mordor to throw it in the fire. So I'm like, here's the things we need. We need X, X, and X. In reality, I'm like, we need to have somebody who can like balance the budget and stop growing the national debt so much. Elon Musk is fucking Gollum. He says he agrees with me. He's like, I want to balance the budget. I want to do that. I want to do these things. But I don't want to give him the ring because I don't trust him. He doesn't actually do these things. I need to give it to Frodo. I have to give it doesn't matter that he says the right words. He says, I want to close the debt because he doesn't do them. His actions don't match up. He's lying. And I think that adds up with everything I'm seeing today. The budget just got passed. It increases the deficit by trillions. It's like, yeah, 3 to 4 trillion of debt, including interest costs. They haven't even saved 1 trillion yet. They've saved far less with Doge. And they're already doing massive tax cuts and blowing out the deficit. It was a lie. It was just a lie, dude. It was a fucking lie. So, and the end timer. Okay, good. We're ready. It's just it's like it's just saying words. They don't agree with it in reality at all. And I have been burned, not necessarily by them, but by others in the past who have said they agree with these things and then they don't. Anyway, all right. So let's talk nuclear energy. So let me set the stage. Okay, let me set the fucking stage. I put out a video on the German elections wherein I said some pretty mean stuff about the German Green Party and ascribed to them a hefty amount of blame for the German nuclear exit. And I got a lot of German pushback, a very fierce comment section. And so I originally was going to do a sort of crash out. You know, I've done this in the past where I like pull up a Reddit thread and I like try to like tear apart the points and I do a whole crash out. That was my plan. And then I remembered the last time I did that. It was around my Slowly All at Once video. I did a crash out, okay? Now I got a great clip out of it. I got a hugely viewed clip, but I also got 1 million more Reddit posts like that. All I did was give it so much attention that I encouraged it. It was like self-perpetuating. It was bad. Also, I've said this year was the year of kindness. So what I'm going to do is try to approach this problem with kindness. I spoke to Aiden. Aiden watched my video, read the comments, and I asked Aiden as a neutral person. I said, Aiden, because he was interested. He's like, can you answer some of these questions? I'm reading the comments. I asked Aiden to put together a list of questions he got from the comments that he would like me to answer. So Aiden pulled these together, and his number one thing he said, I read all the comments, and the number one thing I'm asking for is, why you are ascribing this to the Green Party over other parties. People are blaming the CDU. Can you go into that? Okay? So I want to do that. What I'm going to do today, and again, I want to do a larger point. I want to do a larger here. Is like, I am a streamer. I go live with no script, and I tell information based on things that I've read and learned. But I'm doing it live. I don't write it down. I'm going it live, okay? If I made a mistake on something, I'm happy to hear it. I'm happy to hear it. I'm happy to talk about it. However, in this case, I'm going to show you how I arrived at my conclusion. And I think when you see it, you may have a different opinion. Okay? That's all I'm saying. All I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through the step-by-step way that I got to my conclusion. I will walk you through all of the source data. I also spent a long time making sure that I have all of my sources. Usually I'm making these slides pretty quickly. I went through and I added the logos of where everything comes from. So if you would like to read this stuff yourself and learn about it, you can. Okay? You can do whatever you want. All right? I want you to do that, actually. I want you to take the conclusions that I'm drawing and look into them and challenge them. But I want you to understand that they are hard-earned. I really don't mind when someone disagrees with me. I really don't. This may shock you. It's a big internet. People are going to have a million opinions. I know that I have a very narrow political belief. There's not many people that are like, pretty strongly socially left-wing, but also support free markets, who also support unions, it's a very unique sphere that I find myself in. Many people will disagree with me. It's fine. I don't care if they disagree with me. It's fine. What I don't like being told is that I didn't do my research, that I didn't source this. All right. So let's find out. I would like to take you back. Oh, wait. First, I'm sorry. I want to show you something. Okay. Wait. I want to show you this, okay? Before we go into it. And again, I read a lot of these comments, and I want to start with this. This is the narcissist prayer. The idea that, hey, something didn't happen, and if it did happen, it wasn't that bad. And if it was that bad, it wasn't my fault. It was someone else's fault. And if it was all that, well, then we all deserved it. Okay, maybe it was going to go on. I want you to keep this narcissist prayer in mind. Okay? This is kind of like the anti-nuclear prayer. This is Germany. Great country. I lived there for 4 years. This is Germany. This is nuclear power. I'm going to give you a brief overview of why I like nuclear power, because people have asked that. Why is Atrioc so pro-nuclear? I'll give a very simple overview. Nuclear power has a very high capacity rate. This means percentage of time that it's online. When you're running nuclear power, 92.5% of the time, except for down for maintenance, it's making power. It's generating stable baseload power. Okay? This is great. Wind and solar are also great sources of power, but they are less stable. They're intermittent. When the wind is not blowing or when the sun is not shining, they're offline. So they're good ancillary sources of power, but as stable baseload sources of power, they have problems. These coal and hydropower and natural gas, well, they're pretty good, except when you look at carbon footprint. So I also believe in climate change. I think climate change is a real thing and it's man-made, and that we should try to do our best to have clean energy. Nuclear is the lowest carbon emissions of any source. So it has the highest capacity rate and the lowest emissions. Okay? Coal has many times more. I'm going to say this early. It would be crazy to want to stop producing nuclear and produce more coal. Any situation in which you found yourself turning on coal plants after you turned off nuclear plants, you have to really question what the fuck's going on. Okay? At the same time, there's a larger thing that I don't believe in. This is just true. The world's demand for energy grows every year. It is an up and to the right graph from the dawn of time, except for maybe the Black Plague. It's an up and to the right graph. We are always demanding more energy. As society grows, as we digitize more, as we get electric vehicles, the demand for electricity continues to grow. You always need more power. And so finding ways to create that power that is also clean is very important. There are no countries in the world who are high income and low energy. If you want your country to be rich and to have good things for your citizens, you are going to be a high energy country. As you move the energy ladder, you move the income ladder. Energy is life. So again, you have to find a way to grow your country. If you start skimping on energy, or your energy becomes more expensive, it's very bad for your country. You start falling down the income ladder very quickly. Okay? These are all things that are like stables to the noise. Now, with all that boring stuff out of the way, let's take ourselves to 1980s Germany. The style was different. The fashion was different. Times were good. We're in the 80s, baby. We got big wild hair. There's good music on. And we're in Germany. Things are good. Jeans, t-shirt, Beach Boys. Things are good. And in Germany, things are looking extra pretty good because the Berlin Wall's about to fall. And Germany is a nuclear superpower. Wait, I need to make sure this fits. Germany. Oh, yeah. There it is. Germany has become, over the course of the 70s and 80s, a massive nuclear energy power. They've built a ton of nuclear power plants. It's producing a huge mix, I think about a fourth or a fifth of all of their energy. It's, again, 22 gigawatts, it's a billion watts, of the world's best run nuclear reactors. Germany was once capable of churning out 170 terawatt hours per year of carbon-free baseload power, an enviable anchor that served as one of their two economic foundations of its impressive manufacturing sector. Okay? This is a big fucking deal. Now, again, a gigawatt is 3.125 million solar panels. And there was 22 of them in nuclear. So 3 million times 22, that's how many solar panels they had, of stable baseload carbon-free nuclear power. Germany loved their nuclear. It was doing very well. They had an extremely powerful homegrown. They were some of the best in the world at it. In fact, at the time, there was a Simpsons episode where Germany was so associated with their strong nuclear energy sector that Mr. Burns sells the plant to the Germans.
Mr. Burns, we've heard that a German consortium has offered to purchase the plant. Any comment?
You'll see the Statue of Liberty wearing lederhosen before you see Germans running my plant. Now, don't worry. I think you'll find that these two gentlemen are as American as apple pie. Hans and Fritz, well, that's just John and Frank.
Ich bin ein Springfielder.
No, they'll bring their own people in.
Oh, this ain't good.
By the way, the episode ends with Homer doing such a bad job as the Germans sell the plant. Anyway, so that was in the media. Like, the media had a picture of Germans as being pro-nuclear, having a big nuclear industry. Around the same time, there was a rising environmentalist movement. There was student protests, and a party emerged called Die Grünen, the Green Party. Okay, this is where the Green Party emerged, late 70s, early 80s. They were kind of like hippies of the time. They showed up, they wore sneakers, they had beards, they didn't wear suits. They were in the Bundestag, which is the parliament of Germany. By the way, I think being hippie's cool. I think they were anti-war, they wanted peace, it was all great. You'd think that a pro-environmentalist Green Party that's anti-war and all that would have certain beliefs, right? So let's say there's a spectrum like this, where on the left, you hate nuclear energy, and on the right, you say nuclear power, yes, please. I'm gonna just make sure that this fits. You would think, where would you think the Green Party would fall on this spectrum? Would they be nuclear power, yes, please, or would they be anti? The Green Party in Germany specifically falls here. The Green Party in Germany specifically, birthed in this time in the 70s and 80s, is extremely, extremely anti-nuclear. This student movement, because of the time and the era and, I don't know, fears over nuclear power, the Green Party, this is pre-Chernobyl, by the way. This isn't even after Chernobyl. This is pre-Chernobyl. The Green Party in Germany has a fusion of the environmentalist movement and the anti-nuclear movement. This is going to have effects over the next few decades. This fusion of these two movements, anti-nuclear, By the way, the Green Party is formed out of anti-nuclear protests in front of the nuclear factory in Will, Germany. Okay, nuclear, yeah. Okay, understand that. This is all confirmed. Feel free to check my sources. Okay, look into it. It traces its origins to student protest movements. The focus of the movements were protests against nuclear power. Okay. Then they get into power in the 83. They get their first 5% lead to get into parliament. Now, they're not a big party. They don't have a lot of power, but they can make a shakeup. So they get into federal parliament and they start bringing their staunchly anti-nuclear position into parliamentary debates. And they start pressuring the two big parties, we'll talk about them a lot later, the CDU and the SDP, conservative and liberal, like kind of standard left-right in America. The CDU and the SDP, they get pressured by the Greens to be more anti-nuclear. That's what's happening, okay? But they don't have any power. Like, they're not making any choices. They're 5%. They need a window. They need a chance to really get their mission across. Nobody's listening to them. Nobody's shutting down the nuclear. In 1998, the window appears. A window opens in 1998. The Greens do really well in that election. The Greens do quite rather well. And a certain guy appears, okay? This guy, Gerhard Schroeder, is their window. He is the head of the SDP, and he teams up with the Greens to form their first coalition. So it's the Red-Green Alliance that gets over 50% of the vote and now can control government. The SDP, I said SPD. SDP and the Greens team up for their first coalition. This is the first time the Green Party has ever been in German government. The first time they actually have a voice and a chance to do something. What do they do with this newfound power? Well, now that they're friends with Gerhard Schroeder, they decide they're going to finally take down nuclear energy. This 22 gigawatts of power is fucking terrible. We need to get rid of it. So they make nuclear energy phase out their highest priority and succeed in passing a law. Now, I want to point out a specific part here. They succeed in passing it over considerable opposition from the CDU and the FDP and the energy utilities in 2000. This is 2001. This is when I lived in Germany as a child. This is the Red-Green coalition over opposition succeeds in forcing it out. This is the article from the time in German in 2001, 2002 when they shut it down. Okay. Now there's something unique here. Now, obviously, the Green Party was anti-nuclear from the beginning. But why was Gerhard Schroeder? Why was the SDP guy against nuclear? What did he have to gain from it? Well, it turns out he was a Putin asset. He was paid $1 million a year by Russian-controlled energy companies, and after he left the chancellorship, he went and worked for Gazprom in Russia. So he was an open traitor who wanted to get off nuclear so that Germany would be more dependent on Russian natural gas. He was a total asset. The Green Party were willful idiots. They helped them along. I don't believe they were corrupted. I don't think they were part of the Russian. I don't think they were paid off. I agree with this Reddit comment on this geopolitics thread. The anti-nuclear movements, German or otherwise, were more useful idiots than active agents. Okay? I believe they helped him get a really stupid anti-German policy passed. And he was very happy. Putin's pal Gerhard Schroeder laughed all the way to the bank. He got to leave Germany in a worse state than he found it and make a ton of money. The troubled red-green legacy. This is at the end of at 2005, finally people voted him out. He finally got kicked out because Germany was getting so bad. 7 years after they came into power, the Social Democrats and the Greens are on a brink of collapse amid rising unemployment rates and reforms that have been proven unpopular with wide swaths of the population. This is from Dino. You can go check it out. Okay? So, the nuclear exit started with a traitor and the Greens. I just want you to understand that. That's where this whole policy began with. Then, in 2005, enter Angela Merkel. This is 2005 now. This is Angela Merkel of the CDU. Now, if you were to read the comments on my video, you'll see a million posts saying, wow, you should blame the CDU for this. The Greens had nothing to do with this. The CDU shut down nuclear. And I wanted to look into this. I wanted to understand. Again, I don't have a bias here. I don't care. If it was her fault, I'll blame her. but I want to look into. I want to make sure that I'm not being led astray by a college kid in Germany who thinks they know everything about their country because they live there. Okay? I wanted to see what happened with Angela Merkel. So, Angela Merkel, until now, I've had a positive opinion of. When her and Obama were in power, it was the closest Germany and America have ever been politically. They worked together on a lot of things. Angela Merkel is also a scientist. So she has a pro-science standpoint. I found her and her positions, if I didn't agree with them, again, I don't agree with their stance on abortion and a couple things, but they at least were founded in some science, okay? They had some measurement. And during her time, German unemployment did drop. And manufacturing output increased, and Germany was the leader of EU, okay? Now, there's things I disagree with. I'm not going to glaze Angela Merkel here. I just want to understand going in that I have a generally positive opinion of her background for being the first female leader of Germany having a science background. She says, now, based on my comments, you would think she came in with a fucking wrecking ball and started shutting down nuclear plants. But actually, she comes in and says, I will consider it absurd to shut down technologically safe nuclear power plants that don't emit CO2. 2006, right after she comes into office, she says this. Then she starts saying, we need to stop this stupid rule written by the Greens and Schroeder. This idea that we have to shut down all of our nuclear by 2022 is silly. Let's reverse that. In 2010, she risks Germans' ire with a fresh commitment to nuclear energy. She adds 15 years to the phase out. Let's keep these plants going. Interesting. Based on my comments, you would think she immediately wanted to shut these down. Okay? So, but she's risking the ire. She tours all 17 of the remaining plants and says it's unrealistic to shut them down if we want to meet our environmental goals, which is true. Okay? Which is fucking true. We already know what happens. Deadly emissions spiked. CO2 way up. Okay? We know that happens. So she toured it. She found a scientific reason to not shut them down and didn't shut them down. Well, when she said this, all fucking hell broke loose. The Green Party started putting up papier-mâché dolls of Angela Merkel and parading around Germany saying she was trying to kill the country. They have a thing of her playing atomic poker with everyone's lives. They're wearing masks, carrying signs. 100,000 Germans in a protest organized by the Green Party surrounded Angela Merkel's office in a nuclear protest. This is in 2010. That's an important date. 100,000 people surrounded her office and said, you cannot extend the lifespan of our nuclear energy. You're killing us. Shutting it down is killing us. You have to close down these nuclear powers. Again, they are not opposed to nuclear for cost reasons or for CO2 reasons. They are opposed to it for fear-based ideological reasons. Okay, there's a big ideological, fear-based, fear-mongering movement about slowing it down. Angela Merkel, despite this protest, does not change her mind. She does not change her mind. She says, no, we're still going to extend the lifespan of these nuclear power plants. And then something happens. An earthquake off the coast of Japan causes a tsunami that hits Japan's largest nuclear power plant, Fukushima. When this happens, it changes the course of Germany forever. Headlines are everywhere about this crazy nuclear disaster. Even though nobody dies in it, by the way, it's chaos. It's proof for everybody in these protests that nuclear really is too dangerous. You can't have it in case an earthquake hits a tsunami, hits your plants. So there's a disaster. Merkel realizes this is going to be bad for her. And immediately it is. Germany's Green Party gets their biggest win yet. They start winning over her party in all these different elections, all these different states. Even places that are traditionally CDU start suddenly seeing huge surge of support for the Greens. This is after the protest, by the way. They seem like they were right. So, because of this, Merkel is unfortunately forced by the voters. They will vote her and her whole party out of existence unless she changes her mind. She's made fun of for it. They call it her Waterloo. Her anti-nuclear opponents claim victory at forcing her to change her mind. Okay? She has to go back to the original plan and, in fact, accelerate it to keep shutting down nuclear. which she does. She goes back to Schroeder's plan, accelerates it. They start shutting down nuclear power plants. Again, I'll show you where we are on this chart. Here. Start seeing massive 10, 15 gigawatt drops in nuclear power output. This is replaced by mostly coal at the time. Mostly coal. Okay? Is this something I agree with that her doing? No. But I at least understand. She's responding to the will of the voters. I get that. Even on her exit, though, by the time she finally leaves office in 2021, she says the nuclear phase out will make it harder to reduce emissions. Yes, I had to give in. Yes, I had to do it. I still don't agree with it. Please don't continue it. It'll make it harder to reduce emissions. She says this herself as she leaves office. All it's done is made us more reliant on coal and natural gas. And she hands a new coalition, the traffic light coalition of the SDP, the Greens, and the FDP, the reins. They have now won in 2021. They're going to take Germany over. And when she hands the power to them, still 14% of the country is on nuclear power. They still have 6 big reactors that are producing clean, CO2-free energy at a high rate. Stable baseload power. 14% of the country. Still more than solar. Solar and hydropower combined, okay? That's when these two guys come into power. This is Olaf Scholz of the SDP and Habeck, Robert Habeck of the Greens. Now, I've mentioned in the video that I didn't like Robert Habeck. And this is, again, I'm going to explain to you why. I'm going to follow you my logic. I didn't just make it up out of nowhere. I didn't just be like, I don't like this guy. I followed his actions and I made my conclusion, okay? The first thing Robert Habeck leads upon getting into power is to pull the plug on 3 of its last 6 plants immediately. Instantly. Rushes it through. Like within 2 or 3 months from going into power, rushes it through. Shuts down the last 3. Shuts down 3. Okay, fine. Again, the immediate response in all of these situations is not, is always more coal. It's like they have to use more stable baseload power. They are growing their wind and solar, don't get me wrong, but wind and solar growth is largely coming at the expense of nuclear. Again, you see coal is basically flat. It's just nuclear shrinking and they're replacing most of that with wind and solar. So it's not like they're getting massively cleaner. It's slightly cleaner because they're getting more than the nuclear was, but it's mostly just, instead of coal plus nuclear, it's coal plus wind. Just understand this. You could have kept nuclear and replaced the coal with the wind. Do you understand how obvious that would be? So anyway, they shut down 3. And they're continuing the slow phase out plan to shut down the last 3 and just be done with nuclear. That's the goal of Robert Habeck and the Greens. And then something unexpected happens again. Russia invades Ukraine. And now this is a problem. This changes everything because one of the main sources of cheap, stable energy that Germany has relied upon, especially as they shut down nuclear, is Russian natural gas. They import it very cheaply and they use that to power their industry. And it's been successful. Germany's industry has grown to be very strong. They're an exporting nation. They import the natural gas, they export. Okay? Well, after the war, everyone's like, all right, well, we have to sanction Russia. We can't buy natural gas anymore. We can't do it. This guy, Olaf Scholz, goes, well, come on. We need it. We need it. We have to buy it. And so you may not remember this, but for the beginning of the war, Germany is sending hundreds of billions of dollars to Russia as they are fighting them. They are literally defending the action of buying natural gas constantly while trying to fight Russia. They're literally funding the war effort against them. Obviously, this doesn't make sense, is not strategically aligned with NATO's goals. Then somebody blows up the Nord Stream pipeline. Now, nobody knows who, but I have my theories.
How will you do that exactly, since the project and control of the project is within Germany's control?
We will, I promise you, we'll be able to do it.
Schönen Dank für...
He was talking about ending the Nord Stream pipeline. Anyway, after saying this, mysteriously, the Nord Stream pipeline explodes. It explodes, and now suddenly Germany can no longer buy natural gas from Russia. Russia's no longer getting this easy funding. Interesting. Okay? Coincidence or not, I'll never know, right? I'm a fucking streamer. But it's definitely helpful to Biden and NATO's cause that Germany's no longer funding them. That's where one of my main sources for the ideas that I have, this book, Kaput, by a German, Wolfgang Munchau. He's a writer for the Financial Times. He's a German. He voted for the traffic light coalition of these guys. But his book is pretty damning. His book is pretty damning on their actions, both in and around the war. So, I'm going to read you a passage here from this book, okay? In September 2022, the Nord Stream pipelines were blown up. This ended Scholz's delusion that Germany could continue relying on Russian gas while supporting Ukraine in the war. Around the same time, the coalition of the Reds and the Greens had its first big disagreement over the future of the 3 remaining nuclear power stations, which were due to go offline. Robert Habeck, this guy, the Greens economic minister, insisted that the coalition should stick to the agreed timetable and shut them down. Nuclear power had a totemic quality for the Greens, as we have seen since the party's very existence sprang from anti-nuclear protest movements. Now they were in charge of the economics ministry for the first time ever. There is no way they would let go of capturing the big prize, shutting down the final 6 stations. Okay, interesting. That's what they do. Okay? That's what they do. Robert Habeck forces it through. Now, I want you to point out something. Do you guys remember how when Angela Merkel was against shutting them down, but submitted to the will of the voters? People were saying they wanted it, fine, she had to do it. When Robert Habeck shut down the final 3 plants, not only were partners of his coalition against it, 2/3 of Germans were against it. 2/3 of Germans were against shutting down the last nuclear plant. He ignored the will of the voters, he ignored the will of the other people in his coalition, and he led the shutdown of the last 3 plants. This had many private and external costs. Again, this is a study you can look at from the Journal of the European Economic Association. We find the reductions in nuclear electricity production were offset primarily by increases in coal-fired production and more imports. The social costs are of 3 to 8 billion euros per year. Okay. He shuts it down. Shutting down the world's most modern and safest nuclear power plants in Germany is a dramatic mistake that will have painful economic and ecological consequences. This is from the FDP. They are in coalition with him. He's saying this. The voters are saying this. You know the only voters that are not saying this? There's only one party in all of Germany whose voters supported shutting it down during the war. This guy, the Green Party. And only 56% of them. 44% didn't want to shut him down. So only a slight majority of a small party wanted to shut it down. And Robert Habeck, because he was economics minister, forced it through. That is why I do not trust him. That is why I am against. I find it to be extremely foolish. Okay? Now, again, Robert Habeck said it won't affect energy security. And yet it did and has. Okay? Additionally, now that it's been enough time, now that we've had 50 years from the beginning of this saga to the end to see the effects, you can look back and find that if Germany had just done what France did in the early 2000s and continued building nuclear, it would have cost dramatically less than this massive surge of trying to push wind and coal and helped meet their climate goals. And I want you to really understand this. I want you to understand that why I can so easily feel solid in this belief is that every day you can go check the European electricity map. I'll give you the link. It's ienergy.info. You can check this every day, any hour. And you can look at the countries in Europe who tried nuclear and the countries in Europe who didn't. You can see that Germany, despite talking such a big game about environmentalism, has never been greener than France. Never even been close. Not even close. They are less energy secure and more pollutant than France. What is the link? appelectricitymaps.com/72hours/hour. You can see right here. And now we find ourselves in a spot where when the wind doesn't blow, it's called a Dunkelflaut. When the wind doesn't blow or when the sun doesn't shine, German electricity prices skyrocket and they have to import coal from Poland, coal energy from Poland, hydro and nuclear from the north in Sweden and Norway, and nuclear from the west, from France. Okay? This is where they find themselves. It's a Dunkelflaut. It is very funny. It's bad. It is a bad situation to find yourselves. I can go a million. I mean, and it's crazy because to be so anti-nuclear and then to have 56 nuclear plants on your border. It's like, dude, many of these French plants are right here. It's not like the radiation won't affect you if there's a fucking meltdown. Okay? So, at the same time, I made a big claim in my video that these policies have pushed people towards the far right. Again, I don't know how I could have been clear, but I'll be very clear right now. Fuck the AfD. The AfD is a terrible fucking party that will lead Germany to ruin. But the reason they exist, people like to blame like, oh, it just happens to us. This just happens out of nowhere. No, it is the result of people's lives getting worse. Stupid policies, short-sighted effort, corrupt politicians, all of this combines to make people's lives worse, and then they are pushed to the far right. If you can't acknowledge your mistakes, if we can't get competent, scientific, realistic leaders, then you're going to get these problems. Okay? So there's a good article in the New York Times. How Germany's Greens lost their luster. The party was riding high when it entered the government. 2 years into their term, it is stumbling. Blame for driving voters to the far right. Again, this article also confirms they were founded in the sorry, this is the next one. One of the main things Germany did, what the Green Party did while in power, and this is, again, another big claim I make in the video, is that three-party coalitions in Germany have a tough time getting along, getting anything done. And one of the reasons for that is, or one of the reasons people have that perception in Germany is how the tricolor traffic light coalition exploded. And one of the main reasons it exploded and couldn't get anything done is because this fucking heat pump law that Robert Habeck invented and tried to force through. Again, this is also in the book. Robert Habeck had a law which required people, here, I wrote the whole thing down. Okay. In the summer of 2023, Habeck launched the biggest green project of his legislature, the domestic heating bill, which is a law that forced households to change their heating systems from gas and oil heaters to expensive electric pumps. For many homeowners, especially those living in poor neighborhoods, the cost of the change would be out of proportion to the value of their homes. Whether you agree with it or not, here's what you cannot deny. The domestic heating bill was a disaster for the coalition. Disaster. Politically destroyed them. Okay. And for the Green Party in particular, housing prices started collapsing. The heating bill was eventually watered down, but the political damage persisted. Now, the government partners had fought before, but it was the heating bill controversy that revealed deep fissures running through the coalition. It was the beginning of the anti-green backlash. This was used, this stupid idea. Again, if this were to even pass, it would have such a minor effect. But forcing people to do expensive heating pump changes when you shut down nuclear power plants, when Germany is already not green, is insane. And it caused people to, first of all, the party not be able to get anything done, to blow up the coalition, and to drive people into the hands of the far right. You can say here. The heat hammer, Boiler-Geddon. It cast a long shadow over German politics. It was communicated so poorly and backfired so spectacularly that it helped turbocharge the far right. From zero to hero, Germany's Robert Habeck picks up the climate tab. Energy policy backlash has put him and his Greens down and the far right up. At one point, 1 in 2 Germans wanted him to resign. 1 in 2. Okay? Now, this is from Wolfgang Munchau, wrote this book, who talks about disagreeing with their push. Let's see if I can put this in. To take down nuclear energy. When the coalition came to power in late 2021, nuclear accounted for 14% of the electricity. At that point, they should have turned the plants back on after Putin invaded Ukraine. Nuclear wouldn't have solved all of Germany's problems, but it would have made a difference. The outgoing government was, and again, he was supportive of this party, was the first genuinely green government in Europe. In no other country did Greens have this position of power. Now, red-green stands for failure in Germany. That is something we have to reflect on very deeply. And I don't see people reflecting on this. I see people acting like the voters are so stupid. The voters are so stupid. They had no idea. All these dumb voters have no idea that their lives are getting worse or things are getting harder or they're asked to shoulder the burden for bad energy policy when they go over. Maybe you should look in the mirror. Maybe you need to accept some blame, some responsibility for what you do when you have power. By the way, my final thing. What about the other country involved in Fukushima? What about Japan? How did they respond to the disaster in their country? You'd think it would hit more close to home. Japan fucking loves nuclear. To this day, they are the fastest and best builders of nuclear power plants because it gives them energy security for their island nation. In fact, while I was researching this whole thing, I found an article in the Japan Times where they said it's time for Germany to admit its mistake on nuclear energy. By the way, at the same time, one of the big problems in Germany, I talk about this in the video as well, is that Germany relied, and this is a big mistake, or a lack of foresight by all parties in Germany, but Angela Merkel as well. A lack of foresight that, hey, one day China's going to catch up. Right now, we sell all this stuff to China. One day they'll make it themselves. Nobody talked about that. Nobody recognized that. It's a big problem. Well, now, not only is China lapping Germany in manufacturing, but they are building like 14 nuclear power plants right now. And they're leading in the technology. They're like one of the leaders in it. Now they're building a huge fusion research facility. This is what the compounding effects of 50 years of backwards energy policy is. Now the leaders countries are China. You know who's leading in nuclear research in Europe? It's France. A day after China built an artificial sun in a research lab, France built one that was 25% better. That's fucking awesome. That's cool. Imagine being a French citizen and having pride in this awesome forethought policy that keeps you at a technological forefront, that helps have your energy be cleaner and better and safer and planned for the future. This is fucking sick for France. This is what you want. A party that is both green and anti-nuclear is not really green. That's my point. That's my point, and I stand by it, okay? Now, South Korea. South Korea is building a ton of nuclear power plants. Again, these other countries are building for the future. It's popular. There is one outlier that has shut down their own nuclear power plants. Sweden tried it. Now, there's one other country. Sweden had a Green Party get into power and try to shut down their own nuclear, and they stopped it. They stopped it halfway before it was halfway all shut down and turned it around and started building more. And Sweden nowadays is so mad at Germany for shutting theirs down because it drives up nuclear prices energy prices in Sweden. And still, I'll find comments that link up with this article where people are just smug about their energy errors. I want you to go back to the narcissist prayer And if you read some of these comments, they basically follow this logic. It wasn't our fault. And if it was, it wasn't a big deal. And if it was a big deal, it would have happened anyway. And if it would have happened anyway, it's already over. Nothing can be done about it. It's crazy. I don't buy it. They will use any type of bullshit excuse. They'll pull any number out of their ass to try and pretend that they can't do what every other country is doing. It's 100% possible. Okay? Finally. Finally, this is great. German ecologists, when they see the CO2 emissions of the French electric grid. Wait. I found this meme. By the way, I also want to dispute the notion that there are Germans that don't agree with this. There are many Germans who agree with what I'm saying. You can find them online. They're all over the place. You can pull up a Robert Habeck clip and see the 10 top comments in German being like, this guy fucking sucks. We did it. Me and Dom just did it. We were translating Robert Habeck clips. Again, this is a German. This is on like the R Europe subreddit. A German saying the Greens would rather have 10,000 Germans die than cancel the nuclear exit. This guy's not even a fucking fan of the FDP either. Okay? And finally, perhaps it's worth wondering why the party did so badly in this last election, such that Robert Habeck 2 days ago just resigned. This guy was next up to be German chancellor in 2021 and is now resigned. So I want to say this is the conclusion. That's what I followed. I didn't make this up out of whole cloth, dude. I read these stories every day. I read this book. I talked to Germans. I also talked to the son of Germany's largest trucking company's CEO. He's an Atrioc viewer. He sent me proof of who his dad is, then asked his dad questions that I asked. Pass it to me. I have done my research. By the way, I don't agree with that guy on everything. That guy has some bad stances on fucking inheritance tax because he's a fucking rich guy. But I don't care if you disagree. I really don't. It's fine if you disagree. What does it matter? We're not changing the world here. We're not influencing votes. It's a fucking YouTube channel. But I don't like being told that I didn't do my research, bro. I did my research and I came to my conclusion. If you have a problem with these sources, feel free to bring it up. If you have a different take on my interpretation of these truths, that's fine. But I came to this conclusion through effort. Okay? I'm talking my facts. And that's why I want to make this case. Okay? This is all ancillary stuff. Strong consensus outside of Green Party circles that Germany's nuclear phase-out was counterproductive. It increased carbon emissions, raised energy costs, and provided minimal safety or environmental benefit in return. Shunning nuclear power has been a grave error. Talks about other countries. Yeah, we're good. You have a point. I have a lot of extra stuff here. I don't need it. I made my point. Okay? Now, I do want to say one thing. There was one major error in my presentation. I don't think it's a big deal to the point I was making, but it's a major error. I said that, it came from a joke. I was talking to a German as I was making that presentation. And this German guy, we were talking about, dude, there's so many parties in Germany. He's like, yeah, well, it's because we had one party for 10 years. And he like did a wink. And it was because he was talking about the Nazis. He was saying the Nazis for 10 years, that's why we have and so I was trying to make that joke, but it sounded more authoritative. I am well aware the German parliament existed prior to the Nazis. I know how they came to power, okay? But the way I watched the clip again, and I'm like, yeah, I said that wrong. I said it basically like they invented the parliament after the Nazis. That's not what happened, obviously, okay? They changed some things. They got rid of the president, so you couldn't appoint a chancellor, and they had to earn one of my votes, but I did flub that, 100%. So I want to apologize. That is a mistake in the thing. I am going live with no script. I'm going to misspeak. There was another comment that was like, dude, it was crazy. There was a comment that was like, it was just the wildest nitpicking. I said, I'm trying to get the map that I showed during the thing. Where's the fucking map? Dude, my computer's starting to lag because I have too many tabs. My computer's starting to lag, dude. I'm not going to show the comment. I'm not trying to fucking dox anybody. I'm not trying to start hate. But there was a comment that said, this is on the Reddit, dude, please fucking open the fucking, it's my computer's freezing now. Please let me click images. Thank you. Is this it? Yeah. Maybe. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. I showed, so someone in the comments was like, I can't fucking trust this guy. He said the left got 7% of the vote. Where the fuck is that coming from? I said they got 7%. They actually got 8.77. By the way, I showed this map with this number on screen during the presentation. The fucking lies, the fucking gall, the fucking disaster. I'm sorry I said 7%. I meant 8.77. It didn't change the result of what I was saying, but I guess fake news. Can't believe we told so many lies. So, again, I'm not trying to crash out here. And I understand, again, I understand that my circle of beliefs is not shared by everyone. I get you can have different opinions. And I also, someone advised me this. So we showed this presentation to a German. It was Dom, one of our researchers' mom. She lives in a small town in Germany. She voted CDU, but hear her out. She watched the presentation. She loved it. She loved it. She really agreed. But she said this. She said, when you're explaining this, you have to understand there are some young people in Germany who vote for the Greens because of reasons only like abortion or, I don't know, social reasons. They vote for social reasons. And so if you tell them this, you have to be kind because they'll get emotional. They'll get mad. They'll get mad. And I know that I've done that. I have not been, I don't know how to approach these things without being, without triggering people. And it's a fault of mine. And I apologize. I'm not trying to fucking fire you up, but I'm not going to change my mind unless I see hard evidence that, you know what I'm saying? It's like, this is important. And I sincerely, and I get some other takes, you know, it's part of the narcissist prayer. People are like, well, it's not even a big deal. It doesn't even matter. It is a big deal. It does matter. You know, a Germany that had been powerful and into nuclear from the beginning would be such a different place right now. It would be so much more economically secure. They would have less deindustrialization. They wouldn't have so many plants shutting down. They would have energy security from the Russians. It would just be, it would be better. So, and again, I looked up the policies of all these platforms before I made that presentation. And I probably could have been nicer. I have a lot of left-leaning viewers, okay? Actually, I have a lot of young people. So I have people that I have comments that were like, yeah, I agree with the other comments. You're a champagne socialist. You should realize the AFD is great. And then I have comments being like, you're a far-right shill. I have comments accusing me of both fucking platforms. Just to have a young, passionate Germans in my audience who are in one of these two parties probably that are like demanding radical change for their, it's not a popular position to be like, hey, I know the centrist party is not fucking popular, but it's probably the only hope of like Germany's normalcy without a big radical change that we don't know how it'll play out. Okay. I understand that. I could have said some nicer things about the left, the Linke. I really like their policy on antitrust. I like that woman. I forget her name, but she's been super active on social media. She built up their positivity. However, the big surge in the left voters that got them to 8.77 is actually largely from German Greens fleeing the platform. I saw a chart showing where voters went. It's a lot of Greens flipping over, and they have the exact same stance on nuclear. So I have to just admit, like, it's hard for me to get behind it when you still have the same stance, where it's still like nuclear is anti-environment. It's vexing. It's vexing. Okay? So again, this is my fucking logic. This is my thought process. No, that's false info? Really? Really? Because I looked up this page on their website about atomic energy, and I Google Translate it, so I could be wrong, but it talks about being against nuclear energy. So don't one guy me. You're going to crash it. I'm not crashing out. I'm not crashing out. I'm not crashing out. I'm getting rage baited. I think we're doing a good thing. So that's where I stand, okay? I hope that made at least my thought process clear. I love and respect my German brothers and sisters, even if they disagree on that, okay? I lived in Germany 4 years. I love the country. I love the food. I love the bread. I love the Brötchen. But that's where I stand. And I want... This is a larger crash out I'm having with politicians that somewhat share my ideals globally. Because if you share my ideals, but you make people's lives worse, or you have stupid policy outside of that, then actually you don't share my ideals. You are hurting them. You are driving people away from the things I support. You are losing us voters. This is something I deeply believe. So that's why I get angry at parties like this around the world, including in my own country. Okay? Hey, Shrek, did you read the comments on your German videos? There seem to be lots of great... Snow Reaper, what do you think we're doing right now? Snow Reaper, I got to ask you, what do you think we are doing right? Where do you think you are? What is going on in this room? Where do you... Thanks for the sub, Mr. Jingles. Is it true that Dan Clancy bought all the power plants Germany shut down to power its megatropolis? I can't confirm or deny this, but it sounds like old Clancy. It sounds like right up his fucking alley. I wouldn't have put it past Clancy to bribe the German Greens to be anti-nuclear so that he could buy their power plants on the cheap. Okay, last thing I want to say is that people are going to tell you there's a lot of really, really bad arguments, bad faith arguments and bad arguments made by people who are at the fifth step of the narcissist prayer, where they go, well, there's nothing we can do about it anyway. And they will tell you, well, we can never get nuclear in Germany. It's not possible. It's too expensive. Now, these are the same people that will tell you we need to take off the debt brake and spend, which they may need to do. Germany needs to spend. But they will tell you it's impossible. We can't afford it. If you look up the cost of reopening every plant in Germany and getting it going, which, by the way, gets cheaper the more you do it. Again, as countries that have tried it, Korea, France, Japan, as you do it, it gets cheaper and better. You have to start somewhere. As you do it, it gets cheaper. But the cost of it is equivalent to what they are about to spend on the new 200 billion euro European Defense Force. What they are about to spend to make a bunch of tanks and guns. They could reopen all the nuclear power plants easily. It's actually significantly less than that. The most of the cost in nuclear energy is regulations and political backlash. The cost of nuclear energy was getting cheaper until the 70s and 80s, and then it started getting rapidly more expensive as infinitely more regulations started getting piled on it. When you try to build a nuclear power plant, there's protests, there's 900 stages of things you have to go through. That's why it's expensive. In countries where they're clean and safe and efficient about it, they can do it quickly. So that's where I stand. I'm still wondering why you didn't talk about BSW in the video. It seems like a huge oversight. I talked about it in the context of them not making the 5% cutoff. But you understand that I'm speaking to an American audience. I already covered 7 German parties. At some point, I have to they didn't get 5% of the vote. They're not in power. You know what I'm saying? I have to draw the line somewhere. I'm not trying to like explain the fucking detailed nuances of every single possible party. I talked about the ones that won the election and have a new coalition. What people are mad about with lack of explanation when nobody wants to work the AFD. So I'll answer this too. A Spectacor gave me some insight on this. He said, I know where you stand on things, but sometimes it's nice just for you to say it. And I realize there's some people that just want me to say Nazis bad. I feel like it's stupid to say. It's like obvious. It feels like I'm begging for W's or Drakes. It feels lame. But people, when you don't say it, they're like, oh my, I can't figure it out. I don't understand where he stands. So I'll tell you, Nazis bad. Okay? Of course. But I hate the idea that people will see voters who previously didn't vote for this party shifting that way and be like, well, there's nothing we could do. This isn't our fault and there's nothing we could do. It's like, okay, bro, let's take a look in the mirror. Let's figure it out. What I don't understand is nuclear policy can't be the only factor driving certain policies. Super energy costs are the only thing that... No, of course not. Of course not. There's plenty more things. The main two things, though, in this election were immigration, which I talked about. It's become a huge... It's like same as in America. It was immigration and the economy. And the economy largely based around rising energy costs, deindustrialization. Okay? Immigration and the economy. Same thing as here, same thing as Germany. Okay? I spoke about both. Energy costs are a problem throughout Europe. Yeah. Energy costs are a problem throughout Europe, largely because it is an interlinked grid and Germany's at the center. Norway and Sweden are both trying to cut their power links to Germany. Their energy ministers of both countries have blamed Germany's nuclear shutdown because when there's a Dunkelflaut in Germany and there's no wind, energy prices spike everywhere because it's an interconnected grid. So yes, there's problems all over Europe, but actually countries like Norway are 100% baseload self-sufficient. Now there's weasel words that German defenders will say, where they say, well, we have enough capacity to cover our whole demands. We just use the grid because it's cheaper. It's not entirely true. They have the capacity, but that capacity is only active when the sun is shining and when the wind is blowing. Their capacity is actually under their demand when those things aren't happening. So, by the way, again, people say this nuclear thing's not as big a deal. It's also causing these deep rifts in the EU. And if Germany... I'm sorry, I shouldn't talk lie. If Germany... Oh, I forgot where I was going with that. I forgot where I was going. The carrot thing threw me off. I forgot what I was talking about. Why do you feel the CDU will fix the economy and energy cost issue with increased demands on Russian gas or the debt break? Okay, did you watch my presentation about the 811 nuclear reactors? Did you watch it? Secondly, my stance on the debt break is my stance on all debt for governments, which is this. Let's say you're broke, right? Let's say you're broke. You're dead broke, and there's a job opportunity that you have an interview for. Is it worth taking out a credit card debt to buy a suit to get this job? What do you think? Here's a question for you. Is it worth it to... I think the answer is yes, of course. Of course, because your income could go way up. It is worth this short debt to look nice, to win the... If you know, especially if you know, let's say you know you're going to get the job if you have a suit. If you show up dirty, you're not going to get the job. But if you show up with a suit, you'll get the job, okay? Of course. Anytime someone makes the argument for debt, they're saying, hey, this thing is worth us going into debt for because it'll lead to growth. Here's the problem. When you don't have some kind of limit, some kind of, check to make sure you balance the budget, politicians are the worst deciders of what is a suit and what is not. They don't go and buy a suit. They go and buy a fucking scooter, a Ferrari, a fucking... They rent 500 suits to try them on. If you don't have a way of making sure that the governments have to at least have some thought to how much taxes they raise and what they're doing to balance the budget, they will spend like crazy and everyone will claim that it's for the good of growth. When in actuality, most of it isn't. And then you end up with these massive interest payments down the road that you're putting on your children, the next government, and the future of your country. That's the problem. So the debt break in Germany, they probably should relax it right now because they're in a tough time. They need to spend to get back on their feet. But it's a good idea in theory in most times because it keeps you from getting out of control the way America is right now, where we're just fucking egregious. That is my nuanced stance on government debt and the debt break. By the way, this guy in his book says maybe the situation would have been different if Robert Habeck had been in charge of the debt break and the FDP guy had been in charge of the nuclear plants and the economics minister. Because then he would have kept the plants open and Robert Habeck would have let you have debt to like grow the country. They would have been a whole different spot. He would have liked that. But the way it was now, Robert Habeck shut down all their energy and the FDP said no debt at all. And they're in a fucking shitty spot. Guess who didn't spend their debt? FDP. Stop trying to make it seem like I fucking love the FDP. I don't fucking love the FDP. I don't fucking love the CDU. I'm talking about what is a chance to get normalcy in Germany after the Green Party blew up the last coalition and spent 50 years on the stupidest energy mission of all time. Okay? I'm extra mad at them, but I'm not like fucking pro CDU. I am just happy that there is a coalition in Germany that isn't three-party and might actually move forward on something. Okay? The attempted gotchas from chat are exhausting. Listening to it's crazy. It's people that I think have not read 1/10 of the amount that I've read about this whole situation in Germany, pretending like they have one little. It's fine. 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 People can have different opinions. Bro, Carrera, did you watch the presentation I just made or not? I sometimes feel like but why male models? I feel like what's the point of saying it if you're going to ask me the same question? I just talked about this. I did a whole thing. I made a fucking... I can't... What's the point, dude? What's the point? You're just throwing lines at me with no thought. Hey, Shrek, I disagree with you about a few things, but my only real concern is your opinion that we need to allow far-right parties to fuck up countries so voters learn their lesson. If the global thermonuclear war now party was gaining voters, you wouldn't think we would need to let them get their agenda across. Why is it different from the AFD, MAGA, and the National Rally? It's not about what I think is good or right or wrong. I don't get a choice. What I'm telling you is this is how voters will go. If you can't fix the problems, the voters will go to someone more radical until they find someone who can. If they have to go through this and see how bad it is, then they'll move on. But it's just a reality. I'm not making an opinion judgment. I'm just telling you reality. I'm telling you how voters work. If the global thermonuclear war party was getting voters, I would be like, why are they getting voters? And you apparently would be like, this is bad. This is bad. They're bad. We shouldn't let them vote. It's like, okay, but why? Why do they have 1/5 of the country voting AFD? That's crazy. Do you think it came out of nowhere? Anyway, I don't want to crash out. I think you're entirely right about Germany being insane for not using existing nuclear reactors. But do you think countries with pre-established nuclear should make more? Yes. So I'm just clearly and cleanly in support of nuclear. I fully believe it is the highest capacity rate, base load power. You can do it with wind and solar. It works great with wind and solar. The idea that there's an environmentalist out there who's like, I think wind and solar are good, but nuclear is bad, is fucking crazy to me. By the way, nuclear reactors get better every year in the countries that are good at them. They've gotten better. They use less space. They can reuse their waste. I mean, we've evolved so much since the 70s. It's wild. Have you looked in the Australia? There's a lot of discussion whether it's a good idea solely based on cost. So that's the last thing. I've talked about this already, but I'll just reiterate one more time. You can figure this out yourself. Ask yourself when you're reading an argument about nuclear cost if this person is arguing in good faith. Ask yourself if the person telling you that, oh, nuclear is too expensive, wouldn't immediately say we should spend when it's something they like. Okay? The people I see who are most for government spending suddenly become like, we can't, it's too expensive when it's nuclear. They are not in good faith. They are not in good faith, dude. It's so obvious. It's the same people. The people that are most for getting rid of the debt brake, spend like crazy, reinvest. But when it's nuclear, they go, well, we really got to look at our pocketbook. It's wild. By the way, the French nuclear plants are printing money this year. They had, in 23, they had to do maintenance. It was a down year. But in 24 and 25, they are printing money as they export power to the rest of Europe, especially Germany. They are printing money. As a Floridian, I laughed and learned. Thank you, GOAT. Hey, thanks, bro. Listen, all I'm trying to do is by the way, when I make these presentations, my main goal is that I think there's some American who doesn't follow any of this shit out there who might like to learn a little bit more. I understand that people in other countries watch me, but mostly it's Americans, okay? There's some American, probably a gamer, probably younger, probably male. Not always, but that's my fucking demographics. And maybe they don't follow any of this shit, and it's nice to know a little bit more about the world. That's my target. So when you tell me, oh, I'm a fucking German, you didn't tell about the fucking 1964 accord between this party and this party. It's like, okay, bro, I know about this, by the way. I read about it, but I'm not including it because I'm trying to keep it entertaining and snappy for an audience that doesn't know about any of this. Okay? So when I get crashed out on by people that I don't think have even read what I've read, but throw this I'm a German thing at me. By the way, I was in Germany for half of this stuff happening. I was in Germany from 98 to 2002 when they started shutting down nuclear. Anyway. I'm the one that shut it down. I was a kid. I was 12 years old and I started shutting the nuclear down. I was fucking shutting it down. Eight-ish? Gonna be fucking tough to edit this one, brother. Get working. We need it up by tomorrow. Eight-ish? Get working. The cost blowouts creating nuclear are usually big. And yeah, I've looked at the one in England. Okay? The big problem with the one in England is they haven't built a plant in fucking forever. It's their first one back, and they're trying to do it in a non-standard way. If you look at how Korea builds their plants, they show the fuck up and say you can have the twin turbine one or bust. They say you could have this exact make and model or we'll leave. And they go around the world. The Korean nuclear energy engineers go around the world and they build like crazy. They're very specific. The UK one is like trying to be custom, and they haven't built one in a long time, so it's very expensive and it's running over cost, 100%. But if they build this one, they at least get some expertise. They get some engineers who've done it, so they can build another one, so they can build another one, so they can build the other one. And every time you do it, your island nation gets more energy secure for the future. You get a huge ton of gigawatts of safe baseload power that runs 95% of the year. It's fucking awesome. And it emits no CO2. No CO2. It's fucking great. Happy 3 years, little bro. Hey, Gamer Goral Aaron. Thank you for the 3 years. And anyway, thank you everyone supported. And whether you agree or not, I hope you at least see that I had some thought process behind it. I don't care if you disagree. It's fine. But I just don't like being told that I didn't do my research, bro. I read this shit all day. My life is wake up, read, play basketball, read, spend some time with Ari, read, and then fucking go live. And I don't like being told that, like, oh, you must not have known. You know, I'm being told by like a 20-year-old German college student. You don't know anything. You didn't. It's crazy. It's like if. Okay, imagine chat. You're all Japanese. Yeah. Oh, thank you for the 50 gifties. Holy shit. A-Talk, thank you for the 50 gifties. Holy shit. Do you have a message? Thank you very much. Imagine you're all Japanese, okay? And imagine I'm German and I'm making a video about America. You're watching my video. And I go, I've done some research and I think the Civil War in America was because of slavery. And then one of the commenters who looks like this I can't find a good example. Like, this would be easier if I had a fucking guy. Yeah, like this, okay? You know, like this fucking guy. Well, it's a bad picture, but imagine it's like this, and this guy's like, actually, it was about states' rights. I'm from America. And then you in Japan go, well, he's from America. He must know better than this German who made the video. He's from America. And it's like, okay, if you knew more about America, you know there's a political bias to this. That people who are in the country might be too close to the problem and have certain biased opinions. And so I'm getting people that are clearly, obviously, in the exact cohort of people that vote for Greens being like, you don't understand the facts. And it's like, bro, maybe you're biased. Maybe it's possible that even though you are a German, I've also spoken to other Germans who disagree. And in fact, German voters disagree because they voted you out. Okay, anyway. I voted green entirely on social issues. I'm trans and disabled. Any social issues that always connects to me. I know people like this. 100%, I am supportive of you. If you think I have any problem with that, then you haven't watched my content, bro. I am pro-trans rights. If you think that's your best fucking avenue in the country, then vote for it. But if I was pro-trans rights and I was in Germany, I would be mad at the Green Party for hurting my chances of getting in power by doing stupid energy policy and driving voters away. I would be mad at them. Do you understand? That's what I'm saying. People when Trudeau gets half of Canada chanting fuck Trudeau, but he is like pro women's rights, he's hurting those policies. He's driving voters because most people vote on fucking economics. They vote on their pocketbook, their inflation. If you are hurting that part of them, they'll go anywhere. So that's my fucking whole philosophy. That's my stance. And everyone takes it in bad faith and like tries to pick out and make me out to a position that I don't have. Anyway, I think I've made myself clear. I think if people watch this today, they'll have a good idea of where I stand. And I'm glad this clip will exist. Okay? But I don't think I need to say any more. You're wrong, Atrioc. You haven't been honest about the reality of nuclear, and you're running cover for the CDU because the Greens have been trying to hold you accountable for not playing Astrobot even after promising the chat you would. Fuck! No, he figured me out. This whole thing has been a ploy to stop the German Greens from forcing me to play Astrobot. Friedrich Merz of the CDU told me that if I supported him and his party, he would get me out of it. And now here I am, caught dead to rights. I almost got away with it, too. Have you considered the fact that I've already drawn you as the cringe soy jack and myself as the Chad? I've considered it. I got many comments that drew me as the cringe soy jack and themselves as Chad. And I was like, well, I'm pretty defeated in the marketplace of ideas, but I figured I would try anyway. Stop reading up on German politics and fix your broken drum shot. Dude, I was listening to a podcast of two Germans with thick fucking accents discussing their election while I was jump shotting today. I couldn't understand fucking shit, and I was bricking shots too. I was out there and I was fucking listening, and it was terrible. It was miserable. But big shout outs to a Spectacore and to Aiden, both of whom gave me perspective and prevented me hopefully from crashing. I think I crashed out a little bit, but I didn't. I was going to show up on stream with a fucking shotgun and like cock it into, I was like, this makes no sense. All I'm doing is like inviting this stupid kind of Reddit back and forth drama. I just want to give my thought process. I just want to explain it. And I also want to say that I'm totally fine if you disagree. It's fine. We all need to calm down a second and realize that this is a fucking stream and a YouTube channel. We're not changing hearts and minds here. Celebrities do not change people's minds. And I'm not a celebrity. I'm a fucking fucking elf-list streamer. Okay? If fucking George Clooney can't change votes, then a fucking streamer can't. Okay? I'm doing this because it's fun and people like to watch it. How was the Lakers game? I talked about it at the beginning. It was fucking awesome. It was so much fun. Luka Magic! God damn. Nobody deserves Luka Doncic more than the Lakers. I'll tell that. I've always said that. Oh, I want to give one more source. I didn't have this in the thing, but I want to shout them out. It's an incredible source, and it's one of the reasons I originally got this. I became more passionate about nuclear. There's a Substack. I usually don't talk about my Substacks because it feels weird because they cost a lot of money, and then people are going to buy it, and then they're not going to get much value out of it, and they're going to be mad at me. But I want to show this on because I've learned a lot from them. There's a group of anonymous energy traders who have one of the most popular energy Substacks. They've worked together for many years, and I'm pulling it up. I think this is the one. Yeah. Yeah, it's Doomberg. Doomberg. Is this? I don't want to. This is paid, so I shouldn't show it. But if you want to read a really, really insightful, relatively frequent update on the energy industry from people that lived and work in this industry, who will say the truth because they keep it anonymous to keep it. It's fucking awesome. I think it'd be worth the money if you're interested. If you're not, it's kind of expensive, but Germany's national industry is one of the great mysteries of our time. Anyway, worth reading. This Doomberg, they wrote about Germany's nuclear shutdown in 2022, in 2023, and in 2024. And every time they predicted the future, and every time they've been right. They were dead on about how it would play out, how it would lead to more radicalization, how it would lead to more deindustrialization. Like if you go back to 2022, it's they have a great piece. I think it's worth. And I read a lot of these Substacks every day, and I think they're actually one of the great ways of finding news nowadays because you can get like industry professionals writing just for other people that want to make money in that industry, and it's like they have no reason to lie. They're just being dead honest about how people are making money, how where things are flowing, the truth of what's happening. It's great. I mean, Substacks are awesome. Fuck nuclear, fuck coal, fuck wind. I hate power and think we should return back to rocks and fire. Fucking based. Wait a minute, I changed my whole mind. My entire nuclear identity is gone, and now I think you're fucking right. Oh, Coffeezilla. We should watch that. We should watch. Oh, this is kind of cool. A short video from Sam O'Nella while he goes on why nuclear is sick for 4 minutes.
Can I tell you a secret? Come here. Closer. Nuclear energy? It's not a bad thing.
Sure, 30 years ago, things like Chernobyl and 3 Mile Island were certainly something to worry about. Today, however, it's a different story. Let me tell you kids about Thorium. Thorium is uranium's neighbor, just 2 houses down. He's a lot like uranium, just he's a lot more chill. Uranium's the type to do a half-assed job during the day and spend every night doing Jaeger bombs and blasting Kendrick Lamar. You know the type.
No,
Thorium, on the other hand, is more career-oriented, and at the end of the day, he's cool with just watching Netflix, eating Ben & Jerry's.
Are you more of a thorium or a uranium, chat? Like, where do you find yourselves on that scale? Uranium gang? I'm more of an Ethereum.
Let me walk you through all the steps of nuclear power, and you'll see why thorium is so great. Let's start with mining. So when somebody doesn't feel like getting out of bed, they'll, you know, whine and moan and roll over. Likewise, when uranium doesn't want to get out of bed, he releases deadly cancer-inducing radon gas.
Yeah, it'll
This
do it.
means workers have to put up expensive ventilation systems just to, you know, not die. Thorium's chill. You go to wake him up, he understands he's got a job to do. Goes without a fuss.
Chill guy Thorium.
And even when you do get uranium up, like the lazy bastard he is, he has much less concentration in his ore compared to thorium, so more work has to be done just to get the same amount of material. The Earth's crust also has much more thorium in total than uranium, about 3 times as much. So you got your ore, and you've extracted it. Ready for work, right? Wrong. You see, natural uranium mainly consists of 2 different isotopes, uranium-235 and uranium-238. 238 kinda sucks at life, so uranium has to undergo enrichment to up its concentration.
This whole fucking type of YouTube channel where they just take something scientific and then constantly put in like, I don't know, like jokes. It's good. I mean, I think this is good. People can learn through this.
Of 235. Uranium's kind of like that kid with ADHD, right? You got him in the building, but you still got to give him his own little room and a couple Ritalin before he starts doing anything productive. That's expensive. Thorium, on the other hand, look at him. He's got his sneakers laced, glasses on. He's ready to go. No enrichment needed. Finally, you're ready to make some power. This part's important, kids. Pay attention. So this is where the biggest difference between uranium and thorium comes in. You see, uranium is fissile, whereas thorium is fertile. This means uranium can do his job all by himself, just doing his thing all on his own. Whereas thorium's kind of a cripple. He needs a little bit of someone else just to give him the push he needs to start releasing energy. This might sound like a bad thing, but if you think about it, it's a lot safer. If you've got your power production process started and shit suddenly hits the fan, uranium's just going to keep going. You can try to move him around, cool him down or whatever, but at the end of the day, this man's going to be swinging, and it's not going to be a good day for anyone. Thorium, he's only got one leg. Piss him off, he takes a swing at you, just push him over, you're good. Please note, Sam O'Nella Academy does not condone pushing cripples. And that's what thorium reactors do. They allow the barely radioactive liquid thorium to drain away from its helper in the event of an accident, so there's no way for things to escalate. Much safer. But while the process for thorium is better, most of the time people care more about the results. Well, it just so happens that thorium is pimping in that regard as well. CERN estimates that 1 ton of thorium is capable of producing as much energy as 200 tons of uranium. That's a lot. To compare, that's also equivalent to 3.5 million tons of coal. But
I prefer the coal. I prefer the coal. 3.5 million tons of coal. Let's fucking burn it, baby. Clean coal. I'm all about clean coal. Can't put down the coal.
Let's talk about byproducts. Thorium, being as pure as it is compared even to enriched uranium, produces about 100 times less nuclear waste. So whereas we might not have as many X-Men, that also means much less work has to be done to dispose of the material. Additionally, it's very difficult to make a nuclear weapon out of thorium, since it can't do much on its own. The only thing that's really weaponizable about thorium plants is that little bit of helper material I talked about earlier. But overall, that's a pretty minuscule amount. That means we can feel a lot better about plopping these plants down in places like Iran. So kids, you heard it here first. Thorium is the future. Powerful, clean, reliable, and if things go wrong at the end of the day, you can still kick its ass.
Thanks, Sam O'Nella. All right, let's watch. I really wanted to watch the. I think we still don't have a thorium reactor though, except for maybe in China. Did China do one? China thorium reactor. Oh, China to build thorium molten salt reactor in 2025. This year? Interesting. Good job, China. Okay. Coffeezilla, Voidzilla. I wanted to watch this. I saw Ari start to watch it. She watches Coffeezilla. It's called Who Could Have Seen This Coming 10 hours ago.
A little over 30 days ago, Trump launched his meme coin and ushered in a promise of less regulation for crypto. So, how's that going? Well, the crypto markets are down almost $1 trillion.
Oops.
And everything is much lower. Now, there's some reason for that, you know, could be explained.
Wait, let me make sure I do this in Firefox so it doesn't lag because of all my German nuclear tabs.
A little over 30 days ago, Trump launched his meme coin and ushered in a promise of less regulation for crypto. So, how's that going? Well, the crypto markets are down almost $1 trillion. Woo! And everything is much lower. Now, there's some reason for that, you know, could be explained by macro factors. I want to make the case, though, today that opening up the floodgates to scams and crime actually is not a good idea in hindsight. Believe it or not, retail investors do not enjoy being scammed and conned. Now you have the president's sons.
Yeah, I mean, it's like Ludwig is even talking about leaving Trump coin. If Ludwig, Trump's biggest supporter, is going to leave Trump coin, then something is wrong in crypto. He doesn't have diamond hands. He's getting shaken out of the market. He's down 50, 60%.
Saying, buy the dips. And Michael Saylor saying, volatility is a gift to the faithful.
Dude, I texted Coffeezilla when this all was happening, and I was like, the MicroStrategy crash out is going to be biblical. Michael Saylor is such a fucking grifter, and his whole company is leveraged to the tits. Just insane amount of debt to buy Bitcoin. The Bitcoin is now down. Once that comes due, the whole thing's going to unwind. They're going to have a claim on all the Bitcoin. If they have to sell and dump on the market, it's going to crash everything. MicroStrategy, I mean, we have a great video on that I think called the top. It's called Max Stupid. Max Stupid, that video was the peak of MicroStrategy, and now it's like way down.
Michael Saylor saying, volatility is a gift to the faithful, which sounds like some weird cult thing. Now, I'm not telling you guys you should or shouldn't, suddenly believe in crypto. I'm just making the simple case. In securities, in equities, in whatever industry you're in, scams, believe it or not, are bad net overall.
What?
People keep saying like, oh, we need to deregulate all this stuff. All these SEC people have been fired. All these FBI agents have been reassigned. Oh, we don't want anyone on crypto cases. That's sort of been the attitude of this administration so far, is that we're just going to let everyone do whatever they want and sort it out in the wash. But it's not been going well. I mean, it's only been like 30 days, and it's been a disaster. So I called this out like a month ago. Onboarding millions into crypto with scams and grifts is a terrible idea in hindsight. And that was because the Trump meme coin had just launched. And I saw that it had gotten sniped. Those guys had made over $100 million.
Chump change.
I was worried for the retail investors because this coin promised nothing, right? It's
poor
just
Ludwig.
A total Ponzi nothing, where the president owns 80% and is going to sell on you when his tokens unlock. And now you look at the price. Look at this. It's $13 right now, right? In order to have captured any value, if you were holding this coin, you would have had to buy within the first basically 2 hours of launch. You understand that? Anytime after that, if you're still holding, you probably lost money. That is the successful coin of this whole season, by the way. That's the most success, is almost everyone got rinsed and lost money. You take a look at Melania coin.
If you'd have been quicker, Ludwig.
Obviously, we have now figured out that Hayden Davis sniped this coin, was selling this coin. There was insider trading going on. But another coin where, look, we should deregulate. They're just collectibles now. What's the problem? We're onboarding people into crypto. That's what people kept telling me. Oh, we're onboarding. Don't worry. We're onboarding.
What a great onboarding experience. Imagine if you signed up for a fucking bank and the first thing they did was rob you. Well, I'm definitely banking here in the future. Yeah, you really taught me a lesson about trust. Thank you. I appreciate that. I tip my hat to you, sir.
And it's like, okay, yeah, but into what? Into losing money? Oh, I got onboarded into crypto. Yeah, okay, so what happened? Well, I lost all my money, but at least I'm into crypto. At least I understand crypto now. That's the logic of this space. And look, there's some people who are upset that I'm going to talk about this. They're going to go, you're convenient timing, right? But the thing is, if I talk about this when things are good, people are going to tell me, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. Look at how high the market is. It's everything.
I fucking feel you, Coffeezilla. I feel you so hard. Flirt. This is the fucking crypto bros prayer. That's their own version. Their prayer is, if it's up, have fun staying poor, idiot loser. You haven't done 100 years of study like me. And if it's down, you're a fudder. Okay? I'm holding diamond hands that'll go to the moon. There's no time you could tell them, hey, this is fucking stupid. So I'm just going to tell it to you all the time. By the way, what a great cinema pose by fucking Coffeezilla. Cryptinema.
Things going great. These cons are fine. But you have to go and assess after the fact, right? You obviously have to take a moratorium after things have gone wrong and say, okay, well, what could we have done different? And the answer is basically not launched a bunch of Ponzi's where insiders, devs, and people in the know benefit, KOLs, key opinion leader, whatever. So that's Jailstool, by the way, I just showed you. That's the Dave Portnoy coin. He got into crypto. He also launched Greed Coin.
Oh, reminder after this video, I want to talk about Dave Portnoy and what he said today. I think it's important.
That went very well. Then you have Ryan Coin. This is Ryan Garcia, the boxer. Now, why do you think people launch these coins? This is almost identical to the Trump launch directly because Trump gave the green light to everyone and was like, hey, it's meme coin season. It's fine. Now this is all perfectly legal. You can do this without fear of consequence. So it's exactly what Ryan did.
Yeah.
The website is now down, and everyone who bought basically lost money. Shocker, shocker. Same thing with Enron Coin. We also know Hayden Davis was involved in that as well. Another huge.
Wait, Enron Coin didn't work? Makes me ashamed to wear this hat. I've always prided myself on Enron's core values, both new and old.
Scam, which was sniped. Then you have Libra token, another great coin from the Argentinian president. We all know how that went. I hope you're getting the point, which is that, look, we deregulated, right? And what happened? Just a bunch of people got scammed. Like, it wasn't like, oh, the innovation was incredible. It's like, what are we innovating on? How to scam more from people? I just hope that all these, look, because every time this happens, everybody says, look, you're ignoring the utility in this space. It's like, okay, all right. But when the utility, so like, I guess that's like
what utility?
The apps that are getting built, right? The future of finance. I guess that's like,
bro, fucking 10 years ago, we were talking about utility. 10 years ago, they were like, it's coming. It's now been enough time. Not a single crypto has done anything of utility. It's all been a scam. Utility bills. Yeah, the only utility is for doing illegal transactions with Bitcoin. Bitcoin has a lot of utility if you're a drug trafficker or a human trafficker. It has a lot of utility for that. But outside of Bitcoin and outside of that, there really hasn't been anything except for scams. And 10 years on, you should be able to, I mean, look, AI is a bit of a bubble, bit of an overpromise, but AI immediately helped people out on their homework. Immediately has like replaced certain things. Like it's done utility things. Crypto has done nothing.
Some of these centralized exchanges, for example, some of these DeFi apps. But when those very people do not call out these scams, these frauds, when it's happening, and they only do it in hindsight, it's a problem. Like, for example, Coinbase, something that pissed me off, and Coinbase, Kraken, all the major exchanges
I love Coffezilla.
listed Trump coin almost immediately. Even though anyone could have seen with a brain that this coin was not going to do well because it was built on nothing, right? It's just built on zero promises, zero utility. There's nothing, right? There's nothing. It's vaporware. These exchanges, the builders in the space are happy to sell it to retail investors to print money, right? And then when everything goes wrong, it's, oh, dang, who could have seen this coming, bro? I wish we had known. It's like, yeah, everyone knew this was going to happen. So that's kind of why I'm mad is it's like, okay, yes, you could say there are people who are building like products, but those people are also benefiting from all these scams and grifts, right? Like Meteora, this launch pad on Solana, you could say, well, they're not running the scams. Yeah, they're benefiting. They're happy to take your money. The casinos are happy to take your money. And then they go, oh, well, you know, we got to get these bad actors out of the space. It's like, well, say that when it's happening, right? This also happened with Steve coin, Steve will do it coin.
Wait, Steve coin wasn't real?
That was tweeted about We have this coin, which I will not say. This is the Atom 22 coin, which I guess was the ultimate top signal. But I think it's just worth reflecting on the fact that this was sort of entirely predictable when you deregulate an industry already known for having tons of scams and fraud. It's like, if we need anything, it's the opposite. We need actually more people getting like justice for committing these crimes, or what should be crimes, right?
Yeah, more consequences, 100%. People are screaming out for consequences, bro. People just want grifters to be punished. God, it would make us all feel better about the world if we just saw fucking Andrew Tate go to jail. We saw fucking somebody rug pull a crypto coin and get a huge fine and lose all the money they made from it, and then possibly have to do some. People would enjoy that shit. It would make you feel like there's a fucking reason to do the right thing.
We're deregulating it. We're making it so these aren't crimes. And predictably, there was an explosion of scams and grifts when we deregulated it, and it's just bad. Even if you're completely in favor of crypto, you should be against this stuff. And so, yeah, I just feel like this is a really basic thing. And with the president's son tweeting "buy the dips," I think it's worth reflecting where the dip came from. Yes, there are macro events and stuff like that, but I think a big part of it is people are sick of getting scammed. And until that stops and is cleaned up and people face consequences, you are going to continually face a populace that is incredibly skeptical of your products, and with good reason, because the guy who's leading policy on this, Donald Trump, has a coin that is vaporware and rinsed a bunch of people who onboarded, right? There was tons of people, according to Moonshot, their platform.
192,000 new retail users.
So, okay, you
and
onboarded
they all got
them, then they
rinsed?
lost money. What do you think their attitude towards scams is going to be?
From the fucking president?
All right, that's basically what I want to say. Just a little rant about that. And
Hey, great rant. Love Coffeezilla. I got to blow my nose. My nose is really stuffed. You guys like 1 second. Then I want to talk about the Dave Portnoy thing. Must be a whole glizzy stuck in that nose. Nope. Just snot. Wasn't a glizzy in there. Yep, thorium. Bitcoin under 80K. Yeah, so let me show you this Dave Portnoy tweet. So Dave Portnoy is the Barstool Sports guy. Super bro type, you know, pro crypto. Pro meme coin. All that. And he put out a tweet today and asked some questions. Even he, and I just want to say, I want to make this picture that I'm painting for you. People are so doomer coded. I'm like, dude, people are going to turn so quickly on this administration as things get worse. People are going to rats abandon the sinking ship, dude. Even fucking Dave Portnoy is asking some real fucking questions. Why is the release of the Epstein list always a shit show? I don't know. Probably because Trump is on it. That's just been proven. What is the point of booting out illegals and criminals while somehow becoming a safe haven for the Tate brothers? Good question. Why is crypto in the toilet if Trump is crypto king? Good question. How far does Tesla stock have to crash before Elon goes back to work? Good fucking question. If you're a Tesla investor and you're watching the stock just fucking crater, and the dude is not doing any work, tweeting 4,000 times a day, good question. He's spinning. And this is a guy who like voted Trump, supported Trump. People are saying no one will ever change their mind. And I just think people, it's so smug. It's so arrogant. It's like everyone's an idiot but me. No, dude, people have their own values and stuff and they apply them in their own way. And if they're not getting served, they're going to go somewhere else. But when they see that that's not working, they will change their mind. Not everybody, but some will. I think midterms are going to be shocking. I almost invested in Tesla after the election. I mean, if you invested right before the election, you could have made money, as a short-term trade. But all of the election gains, I mean, year to date, Tesla's down 25%. It fell under $1 trillion. Tesla stock fell for 6 straight days, giving up nearly all of its Trump election gains. Look at this fucking photo. It's fucking crazy. This is the richest man in the world. God, it's fucking crazy. Anyway, I'm doing a prize on this on probably Monday. I decided to finally finish it because it's getting more and more hilarious as we go on. So I don't want to talk too much right now, but any hoots, what do you guys think about watching an episode of House? Do you guys think that is a good idea to end on a nice note? Or do you guys think we should watch more educational stuff? The problem is I just did a full educational crash out. And I'd like to relax a bit and watch a little House MD. Oh, well, let me ask. Yo, are you around? So I watch, this is going to sound crazy, but just bear with me. I watch TFT games in the shower. I watch pro players of Teamfight Tactics in the shower. And I was watching this guy send TFT. Cause I think TFT is kind of too boring to watch, so I never watch streams. And if I'm somewhere else, I usually listen to a podcast or watch something educational. But like in the shower, I'm like, I can't focus enough to learn something. So anyway, whatever. I'm watching this guy send TFT, this guy. And I saw a really hilarious video by him. He's like a new streamer. He just quit his job, I think. He used to work in business. Now he's trying to make it as a TFT streamer. I never heard of him, but I watched a couple things. So I watched this one, and it's funny, and he does a good job. So at the end of it, I go, yo, Send, I love your vids. I'm a Twitch streamer and secret TFT addict looking for a coach to get me over the edge to Masters. And he goes, hell yes. So I'm going to have Secret. I'm going to play. So we're going to do a collab. So this guy's going to come on stream and he's going to help me get to Masters. Cause I'm Diamond 1 or whatever. I'm like almost there. And I'm going to do that soon. Like probably tomorrow. And if I don't get it, then I'm going to fucking blow my shit off smooth. Actually, Atrioc under a random TFT streamer. What the fuck, Lamau? Man is lost for real. Ain't no way Atrioc is here. Never will I thought that you played TFT. I can't believe Mr. Glizzy Hands Coffee Cow watches Sin. Anyway, I want to promote this guy. Check him out. Subscribe. And I think he's pretty funny and hopefully helps. If he doesn't get me to Masters, though, he's dead to me. But if he can get me there, it'll be great. LMAO just subbed. Bro, everyone knows you don't actually need to sub nowadays because YouTube just gives you what you want in the algo. But you should sub to me. It's different. You should sub to me. It's different because if I can hit 1 million, that would be really cool. And then everyone on team, I can buy them golden or whatever, platinum plaques. Yeah, Fang, I'll hit you up about Tesla. Or if you have any key things you want, you could send it to me on Discord. I will look at them as I make the slides. I still have like 40 slides to make. Yeah, if you have anything key, just send it my way. Anything you think is like worth, like needs to be included. Okay, I think we'll do House. My brain's a little fried, dude. I've been thinking about nuclear in Germany all day. Let's watch a little House MD. House MD. It's not House MD Nights Pog. So if you're new here, or you're just a German who's here for the crash out, at night sometimes we watch old episodes of the show House MD. And it's really fun with chat. We have a really good time. He is surprisingly a bad doctor, despite the marketing. And so it is pretty fun to watch. And he just got out of jail. We're in the final season. We're at the very end. And he has just gotten out of jail, out of prison. And somehow, despite being in prison for driving a car into his boss's house at the hospital, he's back to work at the same hospital. I don't know how that happened. I couldn't quite tell you. I like the jail episode was fire, by the way. The jail episode was fire. Wow, I have 99 Firefox tabs, 154 Chrome's tabs. No fucking wonder it's lagging. Close that shit. I work in IT and you are my nightmare. Yeah, probably. Dude, can I tell you a really funny story? I have no problem telling stories that I don't look very good in. Here's a story. I checked out I needed to borrow a laptop for like a work event from Twitch. I was like, I went to IT and Twitch and they gave me a laptop. And I was like, well, what's the password for the laptop? And they're like, okay, here's the password. I took the password. I knew I would forget it. So I wrote it on a sticky note and put it in the laptop. So my laptop just has a sticky note on it, which has the fucking password in it. And again, it has like private access to Twitch stuff. And one of these IT workers that checked it out to me was at a party that I'm at. Like later that day, or maybe the next day, I'm at an after work party. Just at a kickback at someone's house. And we're like drinking and having a fun time. He's like, is that your laptop on the table? And I'm like, maybe. And he opens it up and it's like, he's like, do you have the password of the laptop at this party on the... He was so mad at me. Anyway. Anyway, we all live and learn. I haven't done it since. Anyway, on October 16th, 2011, the #1 song in America was still Someone Like You by Adele.